Hi Scrubs, I hope you're well.
Hello, you awesome people.
Hello, Starfan.
And welcome to the podcast, the Soul Riders podcast. We have been away for a month and it's a new year. And thank you everyone for the response we got last time. For what I've heard anyway, it has been a very good response as usual.
Yes.
Yes, it was okay. Thank goodness. And we now have a new topic, something that we have been thinking like we need to talk about this, because especially since we did the club episode with Kiara Moonstone, we were like, this is a topic in itself, and now we're taking it on. It is about events. And, of course, we have a guest with us. It is none other than Quicksilver.
Hello!
Hello!
Hello.
Hello! The owner of Glade Gamers, sorry. Glade Gamers.
Good.
So, quick, can you represent yourself?
Okay, so hello everybody. Like Rose said, my name is Quicksilver, but also known in-game as Lana Skybrook. I've been playing the game since early 2014, I think. Don't quote me on that. And yeah, so I've been owning Glade Gamers for about 5 months now, along with my co-owner Hannah. And I recently joined back into TSS, or the Star Squad, after taking a little bit of a break after the summer. So yeah.
And any social media?
Yes, so my two main social medias are my YouTube and my Instagram, which you can find at QuicksilverYT.
Yeah, and I can imagine that TC will put all the links in the description below.
I will.
If you're so good at it. Okay, people, it is 2019. A month has already passed. Feels crazy.
Yeah.
So what have you all been up to? Let's start with Cece. How's your new apartment? Is everything fine?
Yeah, it's still, I still haven't packed up everything yet, so...
Wow, it's been a month. Really?
Well, I was supposed to get 2 bookshelves, but then I didn't get them because I thought I talked to the person like, oh, can I get your bookshelves? But then they changed their mind, so
Aw.
I don't have any room for my stuff. So I
Aw.
can't pack it up, so I need to go to IKEA. Which
How
is,
dare they deny you bookshelves?
I know.
Rude Swedes.
Like, no, I like my IKEA bookshelves, you can't take them.
Yeah, that's true.
Also been working on my final essay in my study, and that have not been fun.
Aw.
So yeah, I haven't played that much at all, sadly.
No, I haven't seen you much in the game.
Yeah.
But you have been to my events. Some of them at least. So that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Oh. Yay! So but it's moving along.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
starting to sort of.
Yeah. It is beginning of the year and everything is just
Yeah.
How is the walls, TC? Are they white?
Oh no.
I've painted them. I've painted them.
Yay!
They're painted!
Yes!
Oh my god, people!
They are. They're finally all done. I took 2 days and did all the painting, but this is, well, what happened on the final day of painting. Yeah, so basically what I did was, second day of painting, I had 1.5 walls left to do.
Okay.
And the fire alarm went off.
No.
Oh,
And
really?
Why?
Well, this is what I'll explain. This fire alarm went off, and I started to panic, and I was looking around, and I was like, what's burning? What's burning? And I was home on my own. So I, ran downstairs, checked the kitchen, because that was, the first place I thought. No, nothing there. Couldn't smell any kind of burning smell. And then I came back up to my room, and I closed the door. And then after a minute or two, the fire alarm went off. And then I was like, I did a Google, and I was like, can paint fumes set off a fire alarm? Apparently they can.
Oh my gosh.
You learn something new every day.
Yes. So the only thing I have left to paint is the skirting boards and the wardrobes, but the reason I haven't painted those is because I hadn't got the paint for it yet.
Okay.
And I got that paint just a few days ago, so I'm going to start doing that. But it's not a big job. I can just kind of sit with a small paintbrush and do that. It's not like it's not a big, massive job. So it's only a wee small tin of paint anyway. So I need to do that. But
it is gonna be my question for you in February.
Have you
like,
painted
are you
skirting
done?
boards?
Yeah, exactly. How is the whole process doing now? But you have painted. But have you been playing?
I actually have been on a reasonable amount, mostly doing live streams on different servers and training, and sometimes just training off of live stream, just with my club and things like that. But that's mostly what I've mostly been training. I think the last while, I have 2 Cloud Steels that I got. One of them's level 14 and the other one is level 13, I think. Maybe. Yeah, I think it's level 13. So I've just those 3 levels left to finish on those, and then that'll probably be done maybe by the end of next week, I would say, quite easily. So that's mostly what I've been up to so far.
And of course we want to hear, what have you been up to, Quick?
I have not been up to the very fun stuff. It's been a lot of college work and getting deadlines in, you know, the usual after Christmas rush. So similar to you and Cece, or well, to Cece, I guess. It's been a lot of writing essays and completing documentaries and stuff like that. So that's been fun. But also, like TC, I've been doing a lot of training because I have a huge list of horses that need to train on so many accounts. So I'm trying to live stream a bunch so that I just get a ton of training done, because I have promised a friend of mine that if all of my horses are not trained by the end of this year, that I cannot buy any horses in 2020. And I don't want that to come true. Yeah, I know. So
I would never say that because I know myself.
Yeah, me too.
I have a question. Is it possible?
Is that even possible?
I don't think I'll be needing any star coins in 2020. Let's just say that. I don't think it's gonna work very well.
That is going to be interesting to follow up in the future.
But yeah, no, I have been online quite a bit, just to kind of, you know, you have your days full of work, so then I like to wind back and jump online, whether it be on Cupcake and chill out with Glade Gamers, or whether it be on Nightstar and chill out with Star Squad. You know, just kind of jump between both.
Oh. That's nice. So you all had sort of fun.
Uh-oh.
Well, January for me has been low. I had, and the people that follow me knows that I've had a lot of issues with my throat.
Yeah.
I've had gone to the doctors twice. Can you say even 3 times? But I think twice. I've been like physically at the doctors twice. And the first time they thought they knew what was wrong with me, and I was sent home to do like, I never figure out what it is. It's like a tablet that is supposed to melt in your mouth.
Okay.
Interesting.
Don't you know the name? It's like, it can both be candy, but it's also like, you can buy it at the pharmacy. It's like...
Oh, like lozenges?
Yeah, yes, that's it. Yeah, so that and also gurgle salt water.
Yeah, salt water, yeah.
Been doing that for 2 weeks. Nothing happened, so I had to return. And met a new doctor, and she did a proper examination, and we did another throat test that is going to take a week before I get the results. So waiting on that. And now for 3 days, I haven't been in pain. It went away by itself. So I'm like feeling like, of course I am the one that goes like, there's something wrong with me. And then people call next week and I'm like, what? No, I'm good. Drama queen, always. But we'll see. It might return.
I've been the exact same, but I haven't bothered going back to them because they didn't do anything the last time.
Oh my god, go to the doctor's, easy. But yeah, we'll see.
Instead, whenever TP's throat cracks, she just gets me giggling at her. I'm sorry.
Everybody knows. Like, literally, I'll be on call with somebody, my throat will just go, and then there's this voice crack, and yeah. I have used people at least.
No, that's not okay. Go to the doctor. But we'll see. I'm like, okay, I'm happy that it's gone, but it has been like, it can return, so I'm waiting. And I have those kind of tablets right in front of me right now in case, because I feel like when I talk too much, it can appear again. So that has been happening a lot. So I haven't been streaming and recording much. I have been moderating a lot on Esmeralda Silverforce streams, though, in Swedish. So that has been, and she has tons of viewers, so it's like full work. It's amazing, but it's fun. And on top of that, I have been playing, especially since Comet Talks returned from the vacation, and but I've sort of been going between Star Stable and Red Dead Redemption 2 a lot.
Ooh.
Yes, which I finished for the second time this
Oh.
month. Red Dead Redemption 2, but that is not the game we're gonna talk about.
No.
But it's amazing. But I have been holding a lot of events this month, and that is the subject of this podcast, or this episode at least.
Ooh, that transition.
I know, I'm so
That was good.
Yeah.
I figured it out. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be this smooth. So we're gonna go into our big topic now, people, which is events.
Oh,
Are you ready for the questions?
yes.
Hope so.
That was not energetic. Are you ready for the questions?
Yes.
Yes.
The last
Thank
time I
you.
shouted, you guys didn't have to say that I didn't have to be that loud.
Oh, it's okay. First question. What kind of events do you hold in the game? So let's start with Cece.
Yeah. Well, I usually hold I really enjoy hacks, and a lot of our members in Comic Talks enjoy them. Because it's in a way kind of a simple event that you just take your horse and you ride out with friends somewhere. It's just cozy and relaxing after a day of work or school, and you just hang out with friends. So I really enjoy those. And apart from hacks, I do enjoy to plan like longer events, like club championships. And I especially like to make club championships for draft horses. Because I have a love for draft horses, and especially fjords.
Yeah, we know. Duly noted.
Yes. So I'm actually in the middle of planning a draft championship for Comic Talks right now. So I'm really excited about that.
I'm so happy.
Yes, it will be fun, especially now when we have gotten so many nice draft horse breeds.
I'm
Oh,
gonna have
I'm like
Hamish.
excited. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Perfect. Looking forward to it. TC, what do you hold?
The kind of events that my club mostly will go with is a lot of like showing classes, but not necessarily like proper showing classes, although we have occasionally done things like that. But they'll kind of be more like themed events. Occasionally things like training. We recently started doing movie nights, but that's just for those of us that use our club Discord. Because it's just fun to kind of watch a movie together or something like that. So we've been doing that the last few weeks. But we do a lot of open events. And the reason I mostly do open events, and I kind of mentioned this briefly when we were doing the last podcast, was just the fact that whenever you're doing events, it's quite common for people to come up to you and ask what you're doing, or to ask to join in. So what I sort of thought from a couple of occasions that happened, I thought, well, if it's an open event, it doesn't really matter if somebody else joins in. Not that I'm ever really particularly bothered, because sometimes we do have closed club events and somebody will still ask, and I'm like, well, if there's no actual reason that you can't, then that's, fine. So the sort of open events that we did last year, we had, the first one we had was an open training event. Then we did a dressage event in February. In March we had a St. Patrick's Day event. Then we did an Easter, spring kind of event.
Yeah.
And then we had a summer themed event, and then we followed that up with Jorvik's Greatest Trail, I think, in the month after that. And Jorvik's Greatest Trail, for anybody that doesn't know it, it was a thing that was started by Rosalind Hart on YouTube. And it was a challenge where you had to go the entire way around the entirety of Jorvik without using the trailers or anything like that. So we did that, and then we had a pony power event, which was like an event for just to celebrate the ponies. This was around the time that we got the change to the new ponies. So we wanted to so throw something in there. And then we had the Midsummer Party event, which was around the time that we had Midsummer in the game. And then we had a beach party, I think, sometime after that. And after that, we had a costume contest event, which was like those different costumes and different themes and things. Then we did an event themed off Drag Race. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go.
No.
I was gutted because I can't remember what happened, but I couldn't go, and I was so sad. But then the following month we had Halloween, and I did get to go to that event, and I laughed so much during that event, my face hurt. And, then we did our starter horse show, and our starter horse show is basically where it is just for the starter horses, and that's the only horse that you bring, and then we have different classes for each one, like a mare class or a gelding class and so forth. And then the final event that we had last year was our Christmas event, which was in the Christmas village mostly, as far as I remember. Possibly a little bit of it was in Dino. I can't remember exactly. But I think one of the most common things within our own club events is having a saddlebag pet class. We normally have like a themed saddlebag pet thing. So like at Halloween it's like your scariest saddlebag pet.
Okay, interesting.
That's kind of the events that we hold.
Oh, very interesting. And Quick, what do you hold?
So, Glade Gamers, we like to hold a lot of stuff that kind of, is activity-based, if that makes sense, but a lot of these activities can also be kind of out of game. So, like TC said, sometimes you have events where you kind of watch movies together with your club members, and we do that a lot too, just because a lot of our members are on the older side, so they have like school commitments and work and stuff like that. So sometimes it's nice just for them to join into an event where it's not very, like pressuring, and also just watching a movie can help them just relax and chill after a day of work and college. But we also do like to kind of do some mini games for some of the people that are a little bit on the younger side. So it's not just sitting there watching the same movie, events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we do stuff like, a lot of the members love playing hide and seek. Mainly because
fun, though.
It's so fun, but mainly because I'm usually the one that they like to put on, and nobody ever gets found because I'm awful at the game.
Wow. That's quite amazing.
Yeah, it's great fun. But yeah, no, we mostly do a lot of closed events, mainly just because we contact, or when we do events and stuff like that, we have it through Discord so we can vocally hear each other. Not everyone speaks in it. You don't have to speak in it. You can still use the in-game chat, but you at least have to be listening into the call.
Yeah.
Just so then people can hear instructions and stuff like that very easily. So obviously if we were to have open events, that would be a little bit more difficult to communicate with people that aren't in the club and that aren't in the club Discord. So that's why we mainly do closed events, so it's just easier for communications and to make everything clear and to make sure that, everybody is understanding of rules and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Well, I am my own kind of niched person, I guess, then. I hold riding sports events and lessons.
Which I want to know more about.
Okay.
Yes. I need inspiration.
It's all from dressage, it can be show jumping, terrain, trail rides, and my even more special niche is Icelandic horse lessons and competition. And that is basically what I hold. As I said, it is mostly lessons, and then I try at least since we have since we have vacation, it's like we have this part of the year before summer, and then we have part before winter. I try to at least hold one competition per semester, or whatever you can call it. So now I'm thinking I'm gonna hold Icelandic horse lessons, like for tomorrow. I'm gonna start with...
looking forward to it.
Yes, 4-gated, where we're gonna focus on the 4 gates, and then closing up to summer vacation, I'm gonna have a 4-gate competition with a very special concept that I will probably get into sometime later on, probably. Or maybe I can take it here. It's a good hair, baby. I have figured out a new concept, basically, from last year. And it involves a dice. It's like, basically Dungeons and Dragons.
I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, so for you who don't know, it is basically simple, is that you have a dice and you write down what happens depending on what the dice lands on. So it can be like the horse trips, the horse is too tense, or the horse is lazy, not focusing at all, and it can be. I have only tried this only on a competition. So if it is a competition, the person is like riding a dressage competition, and you have a moment where they're gonna just ride across the arena. And in the game, not much can happen. Of course, they can ride across the arena with no problem. In that gate, they're supposed to do. So during that, you toss the dice, and depending what it lands on, it says like, oh, the horse was apparently not with the person. It was looking around, being lazy, and you write that down. So you get more sort of different kinds of results.
Yeah.
So this is a new concept that I figured out and loving right now. I'm gonna try it on tomorrow on my lesson as well to see if it works as well there.
If it works, tell me, because I want to try.
Yes, I'm even going to make a movie, a video out of it as well.
Cool.
That I'm gonna talk about later as well. So that is basically what I hold. Next question. What are your favorite kinds of events? And I guess it's gonna be basically the same as what we said before, but I'm gonna at least ask. So Cici, what are your favorite kind of events?
I love going on. Our club is very equestrian themed,
Yes.
so we have a lot of riding lessons and hacks, and I really love that because
You better.
And I personally really, because I sadly don't get to meet horses in real life anymore. I don't ride anymore that often because of being an adult
Oh yeah. It's
and responsibilities in adulthood. So I really get my horse abstinence checked with common talks and our lovely riding lessons. So yeah, I really enjoy them. And hacks, as mentioned before, they're like really cozy to just ride out with friends and just chat and enjoy the beautiful scenery of Jorvik.
Yeah.
Oh.
I agree. I can just answer that. It is the same. I love riding sports, riding lessons, trail rides. If there's anything else, I'm not gonna attend. Like games, I'm not much into games. Hide and seek, I can attend, but it's not often. I don't know why, but it isn't often. I do like one kind of event. I haven't held myself. It is that some people in our club has had. It is they have a list of that you're basically either in a group or you're alone, and they give you a list of stuff you're supposed to find out in the world, like a player that has pink hair, or a player riding an old Jorvik pony. They have to go and find like this and take a picture and send to that person holding the event, and you get to, and then you win points. And depending on the matter of time, the one that finds the most wins. And I love it. It's so much fun.
I think that's a really cool one, actually.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I might have to steal that.
Yeah, this episode is for everyone to steal ideas. Have fun.
Steal.
Steal them all. But be kind.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is basically my favorite kind of event. TC, what are your favorites?
Well, I do like themed things, but I love dressing up in, like, if we're doing dressage, I just love the activity of actually dressing up in a proper dressage outfit.
Yeah.
I like weirdly like stuff like that. Like, I absolutely loved our Halloween event, like, but at the same time, that's very different. And I really like doing Jorvik's Greatest Shield. Like, we do it maybe once or twice a year. But I just think it's really fun because the first year I think we did it, we all got stuck in a hole on a mountain. And it's a great bonding moment, you know, because nobody can get out. And you weren't allowed to call for pickup, so...
Nope, you're stuck now. You failed. You're dead forever.
So I kind of like a bit of that. I mean, like when we did the starter horse event, like I really enjoyed that because that was kind of going more towards realistic horse shows in that regard, you know, with the bear class and the gelding class and sort of thing. So I really like things like that too.
Interesting. Like, wait, shows? Like showing your horse?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like
How do you do that?
The first time that we did it, the first year that we ever did the Jorvik starter horse one, we had everyone do an individual show, and I remember it being an open event, and it was very interesting because you were asking people to walk, trot, do a figure of 8 and canter, and then do a gallop. So very similar to showing here, like a riding horse class. And it was really funny because some people knew what they were supposed to be doing and other people didn't. So I guess if I had brought in the aspect of, as you mentioned, a dice, that would probably work better in that regard. And it would give it a bit more variety. But that's kind of what we did. So the next year that we did it, we were like, let's maybe not ask them to do an individual show because not everybody understood what it was. Because not everybody knew about it or was maybe from a horsey background, so we skipped that particular part. But like we had most handsome gelding, or for example, was one of the classes. And then sometimes we've done ones where you're smart as tack, so basically to go as equestrian as you possibly can, really. So things like that.
Okay, because I think that horse showing can be very also different depending on where you go. Because I know from your showing is you actually ride a horse and do like sort of almost dressage. But then I know also horse showing where you show the horse from the ground, like the Arabians.
Yeah, because you do get in hand. And also, because there's some, like if you do, I'm trying to think. If you do working hunter here, most working hunter classes will ask you to strip the tack off the horse, and you do the individual show, which is referred to as like the confirmation. So you will walk the horse away from the judge, trot the horse back towards the judge, and then round. You'll also be asked to stand square, and the horse is evaluated on its confirmation and movement. And then what happens is you get back on the horse, and then you will do a ridden show. So you'll be asked to walk, trot, canter, figure of 8 normally, and gallop. And then what they do is they put you into another ring. Sometimes it can be the same ring, but normally they have 2 separate judges. They have the ride judge, and then they have the confirmation judge normally. So then you can go into the working hunter ring and you do a jump a course, fences, and then you have the judge sometimes. Normally in horse classes, it doesn't happen in pony classes. Then the judge will get on the horse and ride the horse.
So I've never had that before. Okay.
They can evaluate them at different levels. Like what I've noticed is if you go into like the pony or the minis, like horses, like really small ponies, they typically will just ask them to ride and jump the course, but they won't ask them to strip the pony off unless it's a big level, high level show, and the judge won't ride the pony because the judge can't sit on the pony. But if you go into the big horses, normally they do everything. I once met a judge who judged Dublin Horse Show, and he said in the space of one day he'd had to ride over 100 horses.
That's
my God.
Wow, that is insane.
Like,
so cool.
I've been to a lot of working hunters, but I've never had where they've told you, okay, get off the horse, I'm riding it now.
Yeah, it's mine now.
This is mine, goodbye.
It's funny because sometimes you're watching the judge get on a horse and you're thinking it's not that there has been times where I've gone to shows where the horse really isn't maybe used to another person riding it.
Yeah,
you're thinking you're taking your life in your hands right now.
You're about to have a flying lesson, my friend.
You're gonna have a field day. Okay, that's very interesting, and I'm gonna take that idea for the future now.
Stolen.
It's stolen. Can we just have that for the entire podcast, that if something idea is stolen, you go stolen.
Stolen.
Or stoled. Stolen. Okay, quick, what are your favorite kinds of events?
So again, like I said before, when I usually do events, they're mostly kind of activity based, just because I kind of like this way. It gets your brain working a little bit. We do have like realistic dressage lessons, show jumping lessons, stuff like that, which I coach the show jumping, and I really do enjoy it, and a lot of the club members enjoy it. But when it comes to actual big events that we hold, I mostly enjoy like the ones that are mini games, like the hide and seek or quizzes and challenges and stuff like that. Just because again, it kind of gets your mind going a little bit when it's a little bit more, okay, well, when did Star Stable start, or what breed is this, and stuff like that. And also it just kind of brings out a competitive side, but like a good competitive side of the members. I'm a very competitive person, so when it comes to these events, I get very hyped, and a lot of the other members do too. So it's a very fun type of mini game stuff like that we'd like to take part in.
Oh,
But yeah,
sounds fun. Okay, but then what is the best with events, Cici?
Well, it is hanging out with friends, having a good time. Yeah, chill. Yeah, and as mentioned before, for me, to get out my horse abstinence. To just like give in a role play, like you're in the stable with your stable mates and you go out for a nice trail ride in the woods,
Yeah.
But also you can learn very much from events because there's so much you can do. Like for example, just planning an event is a really good experience. Because you need to think what you want to do, roughly about how long it will take and how you are going to explain for the members what it is you want to do and stuff like that. So it's really good to learn to just plan something. And you can hold so many different events, and you can share your interests to your friends. Like with different quizzes, like movie quizzes or like horse quizzes, Jorvik quizzes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or funny games like hide and seek or Slenderman or like...
Oh yeah, Slenderman.
Yeah.
Never heard that as an event before.
Yeah, we played it quite a lot.
It's pretty common here in Sweden.
Yeah.
Slenderman.
Yes. And you can also, in that way, you can also learn a lot from your friends. When your friends have events with their special interests. Like for you, Rose, when you have your Icelandic horse lesson.
Yeah.
Me, as a person who hasn't been in contact with many Icelandic horses before, I learn a lot from them, and I think it's really interesting and fun. So that's also a really cool aspect with events, that you can learn a lot from your friends.
Stop it, you!
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Icelandic lesson tomorrow. I'm like, I can't wait.
Oh, me too. Okay, and TC, what is the best with events for you?
Sort of my favorite aspect to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you like them in general?
I think for me, it's just nice to get everybody together every once in a while, because like for me, it's not very frequent that we do them. I always try to have them at least once a month. And I think it's just nice to catch up with everyone and hang out, because it kind of like it is very difficult to like. I know some people have events like weekly, or some clubs even have every day. But for me, I think that's what it is. It's about getting everybody together for a wee bit and just hanging out and having fun at whatever you are particularly doing. For me, I guess that's what it is. Because sometimes like different people will host different events and they'll take a different take on it, and you maybe experience something you haven't before. So I think those would be what I would say is probably some of the best aspects of it.
Okay, and quick.
So I guess similar to TC, I like the fact that with events, it just pulls everyone together, and it's a time where obviously you don't always jump online and everybody's there. So maybe if you jump online late in the day, you have a certain people that are also usually online later in the day, whereas you may have some that jump on early mornings, then it's out of the way kind of thing. Whereas with clubs, it's also obviously like a set time, a set place, a set date where everyone joins in together and does stuff together and chats with each other. So I just like that even if like as an owner and a club member, it's a place where you can all chill. You're all down on the same level and you're all just having fun and enjoying the activities. So that's probably my favorite part about it. I just like how it just... A club obviously is made up of a lot of members, but you don't always see every single person.
Yeah.
So the events just help kind of, you know, remind yourself like, oh, hey, there's a lot of people here and I can relate to all of them because we all spend the same time doing the same stuff and enjoying the same stuff with the game.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice time to just kind of catch up and realize that you have a lot more people around you than what you expect.
Yeah. I definitely agree, because like sometimes you have somebody, as you said, like is maybe on in the morning times and you're always on in the evening, you never see them. It's kind of bringing that together,
Yeah, I have basically the same answer. It's nice to hang with everyone and like all trail rides I do, there's where I'm like easing up on the rules and they can talk, like when we are walking, like they just talk, we catch up, we get to know each other in a new way, or we just get to it's a good way when we have new members that they can get to know each other during events. So the events are the places to be if you want to get friends in your club. So that's the best with events. But how often do you think it is good to have events? And I know that this is very different depending on where you come from. So we're gonna start with TC this time.
Well, for me, and I think I did mention it in the last podcast, was once a month is when we have a set club event in the game. And I'm happy with that, and I don't plan to increase that. I do kind of I have actually the last 2 weeks or something, we actually have been a little bit more active in that. We don't really have an event, but, you know, if somebody's like, can we do training on a couple of hours of training on Monday, then I'll say, yes, we can do that. So we'll have a club call or whatever, and we'll train for maybe an hour or two. And that's a good way to kind of let everybody hang out a little bit. But it's not an official event as such. And then what we sort of did with the movie nights have nearly been every Saturday, although I might be on thin ice right now because I'm supposed to be hosting it. I was like, I have a podcast to record, so these aren't getting movie night tonight.
Oh no! No movie for you today.
No movie today.
Nope.
So we've sort of been doing that. But I think as for a big event, I think once a month for me is just the right amount. In that regards, I don't think I'd want it any more than that. And for me, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with having it more frequently. I think it's very important, like if somebody's starting out a club or maybe sort of trying to reinvigorate a club, try, you know, a couple. You know, don't necessarily be aiming for one every day unless it is one of those clubs that do it every day, and respect to the ones that do, because I would not be one of them. Far too easy.
Skills.
But yeah, I think it's also important, like, to also be thinking about, especially in the case of like if you are a club that has a lot of people in different time zones. If you expect people to be on very frequently for events, I think that could maybe be too much, and it maybe would off-put some people. So I think it's kind of important to have that kind of space between them, and like I think you have to kind of find a balance, whether you're a club that's been going for a while or a club that's kind of just started. Because it'll become apparent as you progress how much people want events. I mean, obviously there'll still be people who like will want things more frequently, but I remember what Mooney said in the last podcast is, you know, if you have them too frequently, sometimes people don't start to attend them as well, and the attendance drops. So I think that's for me why I like the once a month for certain events, and then wee bits of pizzas. Yes, pizzas.
Don't make me hungry.
Pizza. Like bits and pieces where you maybe have a little training day or something like that. It's kind of a mini event in a way. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So yeah.
Well, here in Sweden, we are Vikings. No, it has nothing to do with that. But it is very common to have events several times a week.
Yeah.
Like, I have never heard of a Swedish club that has an event once a month.
Yeah.
Oh my
Never heard of
gosh.
that.
Yeah.
So it is like the clubs in Sweden, they like try to get club members by saying like, we have events every day.
Yeah.
That is too much. I have to agree. I like how sort of in an example we can say that comedy talks have been progressing in that they in the beginning had Monday to Friday and Sunday. Then they noticed how the attendance was, that it was not great. So we had Mondays to Thursday and Sunday, because Friday and Saturday was like nope, none. And now we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is meeting, Thursday is either leveling or Champ Mania, and then we have Sunday. So like the days that are set for events that can be writing lesson or whatever, it is Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday. So that is 3 days a week we have, and usually it is me and Frida, and then we are lucky if we have someone else. So it tends to be 2 events a week for us now, and that is then writing lessons basically only. Frida can go bananas and do games sometimes. I don't know why she does that, but she does it. And then we have some members that go like, okay, I can hold an event now, and we go like, yes. But yeah, it is okay, like 3 times a week. I think that is a good number. If you as a club owner are willing to do it at least once a week, if you have maybe a writing instructor, have that to say you do it once a week, but it's okay to miss a week or so within a month. Like I have Frida, in the rules it says that I have to do once a week, but I'm okay to miss 1 week a month. But now it is like I can't hold for 3 weeks, and she goes, okay, it's okay, because I hold so many anyway, and I never do that. So yeah, but I never heard of once a month here in Sweden. That's just no. I wouldn't cope. I would be like, this is so boring. I will leave this club. I wouldn't. No. I need to have it at least once a week. At least once a week. Do you agree with me, Cici?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
It would be, it's so weird. Because in Sweden, there kind of is like 2 types of clubs.
Yeah.
Either it's like a regular club with events like
Games
10 times a week.
Yeah.
Or it's a club where it is a club only because you don't want club invites.
Yeah.
So it's like those 2.
That's how mine started.
Yeah, that's how mine.
Yeah. So it's like, yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, once a month. Yeah, that kind of feels, for me personally, feels kind of lonely, because then it kind of feels like the trouble that people are on and off on different times. Like it will be that you don't see each other that often. And then for me personally, it's like, what's the point of being in a club if I don't get company?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And also, we don't really have that problem in Sweden with people having different time zones. Since we speak Swedish, like the only people that doesn't have the same time is from Åland. That little tiny island, and they're like an hour after us? No, before us. They're before us. So for them it's like an hour late.
Earlier or later, I don't know. If it is 8, it's 9 for them. That is what I mean.
We're struggling with time zones.
What is time?
Yeah. It's only different ages in the clubs. Like if you have younger players that are still in school, and then you have older players that are either studying or working.
Yeah.
Then you can have really like big problems when kids from school want to have events right after they come home.
Yeah, exactly. 4 or 5.
And the older players are like, but I need to make dinner and I need to eat and do blah blah blah.
Feed the kids.
Like, I don't have time. Like.
Exactly. So yeah, that is our problem, and that is more common with either you have a club for everyone here in Sweden, or you have a club for older people. That is like the difference between clubs. So yeah. But quick, what do you say?
I'm gonna have to be on TC's side. I see. With me, and with Glade Gamers, a lot of us are more on the older side. We do have an age limit, so it's...
I'm old!
Not the point. But yeah, no, we do, all of our members are at least 14 or over, so obviously they've got study
old.
requirements, they have exams, they have work, they have kids for all I know, I don't know. But, don't you laugh at me.
They're older, 14.
Yeah,
Like,
oh, I don't mean as in like, they're like...
they're babies!
Yeah, but they still have responsibilities. Or at least I hope so. Excuse me, Glade
Yeah.
Gamers, you better have some responsibilities at home. But, yeah, no, when it comes to Glade Games, I at least try to get one out a month. We do have, like, club gatherings where we train together. I did a stream not too long ago where it was training with the Glade Gamers. But we have, like, movie nights every so often. We have, like, training sessions every so often. We'll go out and take some photo shoots every so often where we'll jump on a... Like, with all of these, we will jump on a call and people will gather at one time at a certain place to, you know, hang out and chill out. You'll often go onto the Discord and see that a bunch of people are just in a random call, you know, just hanging out in game.
Yeah.
But for like one main event, we do at least try to have one a month. January has been a little bit slow for everyone though, because a lot of people have been sorting their stuff out for exams, people have been looking for work, doing college stuff and stuff like that. But I think with the amount of events that you have, I think it's up to personal preference, in my opinion, because...
Or
like
country, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't even realize it was a difference with countries, but apparently it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, with Glade Gamers being full of, obviously, older teens and adults, there are a lot of adults in Glade Gamers too, we have other responsibilities along with our Star Stable life, so Star Stable can't be our main priority. So we're not super strict on seeing, you know, you have to be online every single day, otherwise you'll get kicked out by the end of the week. We can't have that.
No.
No, because obviously people have their own responsibilities, they're working, they're in school, they're preparing for, I don't know, going to university, sending out stuff for internships. You know, they have a life outside of Star Stable, so we don't want to limit them to, well, you have to at least be at these events every single week, otherwise you're out kind of thing. But yeah, no, I do think it's up to personal preference. As a club owner, are you willing to spend that much time, you know, organizing, hosting an event every week, every month, every few weeks and stuff like that? As a member, do you have enough time to give and go to that event and, you know, show your face and put that much effort in? And then what is your age range? Like, again, do you have older players who may not be able to jump online like every night or every so often? Do they have their own schedule that they need to stick to? Or are they a little bit younger and do they kind of, you know, have a little bit more free time? So are they willing to jump online? It is just up to personal preference. It depends on what you are able to do at the time and what people around you are able to do at the time and so on. So interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree with you that the attendance or activity level, and I think we did discuss this in the club episode as well, that we do hold this many events because we don't really have that you have to attend a certain amount of events in a matter of months. They use, like, the owners of Common Talk just want to see that you are active and you are in a club where you want to actually attend events. And if you are someone that is in Common Talks and not attending any events, well, why are you here, basically? So, like, it can be like if you attend just one event a month, that's fine. Just that you are showing interest is good, and that I feel is how it should be, and not put a certain amount of events that you should be at. That is good. So next question: any tips for holding an event? So everyone who's listening and wants to hold an event, listen up. Because here are all the tips we can give you. Let's start with Cici.
Well, the first tip that's kind of explains itself is just be prepared. Just have a plan, what you want to do, and how you're going to do it,
Mm.
and how you're going to explain for everyone else how to do it.
Yeah.
And of course, to be on time. You can't be late to your own event. That's really bad.
Yeah, no.
Ooh, I've done that.
Oh,
I'm sorry, okay?
Wow.
I was
That's-
holding it an hour earlier than what I had remembered, and I joined in and was like, hey guys, I'm so sorry.
yeah. Oh.
I've
Attention.
maybe done that as well, maybe once or
Okay,
twice.
Oh
phew.
my god.
Ooh, I'm not the bad guy.
You're, wow.
One time I was on the wrong server, but that's because Star Stable switched me.
Where is everyone?
I'm not joking. I literally I had done a live stream on Cupcake
Yeah.
Valley, and I had finished the live stream, and then I was like, I better switch over to Unicorn for the event. So I switched, relogged. And then I was like, where is everyone? And everybody was like, we're here. And I was like, no, you're not. And they're like, we're here. And I was like, no, you're not, because I'm here. And then I asked somebody at Global, I was like, what server am I on? And then I Cupcake Valley, and I was like,
Oh.
so I logged off again, back on again. And then I was like,
So
I
funny.
still can't see you. Turned out I was still in Cupcake Valley, so I had to log
Oh my
off,
god.
wait 5 minutes, and then I relogged. And then I was on Unicorn Forest, and everybody appeared.
Wow.
Oh wow. That is
That
amazing.
is some story.
You have a somewhat of an excuse. I don't. I was training with TSS and suddenly realized, wait, my club's in a call. Why are they in a... I have an event. Bye. I just left.
Wow. Nope.
Yeah.
Never happened here? No. No.
The
Shame on
Vikings-
you.
The Vikings are more organized than us.
Yeah. We need
Yeah.
to step up our game, TC.
Take this tip. Never be late and don't forget your event. It's rude. Here in Sweden, it's rude. Like, oof, I would be so pissed. No, I'm sorry. Okay, any more tips, CC?
I think I mentioned this earlier in an early episode. I think it's in the Riding Club episode. But it's one thing that I think is very important, and that is if there are troublemakers that are, being annoying and trying to start fights within the club or outside the club, like if it's just a random player who just comes up to you in your club while you're having an event and trying to pick a fight, then it's really important to ignore them.
Yeah.
And to just tell your players and everyone at the event to ignore them. Because it takes away so much time and mood from the event if you or the event goers are going to take time from the event to beef with the other person. It's not worth it, and it's really... I had that problem in a previous club, and it really was not good at all. It was really sad, because when you are there, you're prepared to have fun with your friends, and then it just turned out to be, all argues, and yeah, that's no fun. So if you encounter troublemakers, ignore them. Just put them on the ignore list and just don't mind them. Because attention is all they want, and if they don't, then they go away.
Preach!
Yeah.
Yes, that is very true. And I guess my tips are similar to yours, like just, or I have a lot of tips actually. I guess I'm gonna do a little bit of advertisement here. Go to my YouTube channel. I have a list for writing lesson tips videos. I have a series of them, so I'm not gonna go through them all. But it is very important to have a plan, a good plan, and even maybe a plan B in case there are not as many players showing up, or if there are too much. And I guess I could give for writing lesson tips is to always have warm up, have at least 2 exercises. Depending on if it's show jumping or terrain, try to end it with like a small course. And then remember to also chill down, like trot and walk. So yeah, There are my tips, like in a very big sum up. But go to my channel if you want more.
I can link those videos at the end of this one.
Yay!
So remind me to do that.
They're right down there. So TC, what are your tips?
Okay, so in regards to tips for holding an event, whether that's open or closed, I always think you need to set out a clear plan. You know, you need to tell people where you're going to be, when you're going to be doing it, and what you're going to be doing. And especially, obviously, if you are working with anyone in different time zones, because I have a couple of players that are in the American region. It's important to make sure that's clear if you have a club that has maybe somebody from somewhere else. And I think this is for me personally. I normally steward the events that we do. So basically, my job as a steward is if we were to say have a dressage competition or a show jumping competition and we have a judge, that judge's job is to judge the classes. That is their only job to do. Whereas like the steward is there to make sure that people know where they're going, what they're doing, and when they're doing it. And they're there to answer any questions. And I think it's very important to have someone that does that because it takes the pressure off the judge having to do that on top of that. And it's kind of an extra support there. And I think that's kind of a good thing to have in certain kinds of events. There's some events I don't think you need that necessarily, like a trail ride or something like that. I don't feel like that's important. But if you're doing kind of competitions and things like that, you know, in real life, there's always somebody running around and it's their job to make sure people know where they're going and when. So I think it's good to have that because it keeps everyone up to date. Because I've noticed sometimes I've been to events where people don't know what's going on. And then sometimes somebody will decide that they're taking over the event even though it isn't their event. I've seen that happen. Like, for example, I went to somebody's parade one day and because some people weren't sure what was going on, somebody else was like, well, let's go this way. And it's like, no, it's not your event. So we're not going this way.
Rude!
So I think, like, for me, that's very important that you have that sort of well organized in that regard and you have somebody there answering questions and keeping it all running. But at the same time, it's good never to have too many people in charge. Because you will sometimes, like, I've had the experiences where people have been like, can I be in charge of this? And it's like, well, we've already got this person and this person covering this, so right now, in this particular scenario, too many people trying to do too many things probably make it all go the wrong way. And I totally agree with what CC said about anybody causing issues. If they start, just click that ignore button. That's all you need to do. Just select their name and ignore and goodbye. That's all you need to do. Don't start arguing or shouting with them because it's really not worth it. And it sours an event so quickly. It's a bit harder when there's a large group of people doing it, but just ignore them all individually. Tell your club to see them and tell them not to fight back. It's the best way to go forward.
It's better. It's not worth it.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Yeah, no. Okay, good tips, good tips. Or are you done? No, maybe?
I think so.
You're done. Okay. And quick.
Mine are basically pretty similar to TC's and CC's, so nothing really new, but like CC said, a lot of planning. Definitely make sure that you have it set out. If it's something big that you're planning, maybe have like a run through with a few other people. Maybe if you have like admins in your club or something, maybe just have a run through, see if it goes well, and then do that. Have a lot of planning. Again, communicate with the club. I find it so difficult. Like, obviously, Glade Games it's very connected to both Star Stable and Discord together. It's a requirement that you obviously have Discord so then you can hear us during events. Because like I said before, when someone's holding an event, you must be either in the club call, you can be muted, or you can be using the in-game chat to be chatting back and forth. But we need you to be in the Discord call because that's where all the instructions of, okay, well, this is the event, this is what's going to happen, this is step 1, step 2, that's where it all gets put down. Because it's just so difficult to get typing done so quickly and with a lot of information all in the game chat. So my tips is, if you're planning on using like a social media like Discord, make sure you utilize it. We use Discord to just, stay in contact with each other. So communicate with your team during events or your club during events. Even if you don't want to be on a call with everyone in the club, but maybe you have an admin there who's helping you with an event, maybe give them like the plan ahead of time, or if you are both willing to be on a call together, be on one call chatting with each other, with both you and the admin, or you and the co-owner, or you and somebody else who's helping you with the event. So then you've got two people kind of giving out instructions and there to help members if they have a question. And also another tip or main tip is make sure that your club members are aware of any rules that you want to set during events, because obviously events are there to be fun. You're there to have fun, you're there to be with each other and stuff like that, and to, you know, have fun doing the same activity. But at the same time, if you don't have those ground rules, then something can go south pretty quickly if you're not on the same wavelength. So communicate, have a plan, and also make sure that your club members, even if it's just a few set rules of, okay, well, if somebody starts to make trouble, don't activate it more by giving more to them, or always be on time. Like, have your rules there and make sure that your members are aware of those rules, because obviously if they get broken, then it can ruin the whole event, not just for you, not for the person holding the event, but also for everyone involved, because it might just, you know, delay something, it might ruin the whole plan completely. You just need to make sure that everybody is on the same wavelength.
And for everyone who's attending to actually accept and respect the rules that are
I have to
for everyone.
agree with what you've said, because there's been occasions where we've maybe had a more complex club event, and I have been on a call with maybe one of the club leaders and been like, right, here's what we're gonna do. But like, I'm typing to everybody else, but I'm speaking to them because it helps us coordinate. Like, if, for example, there's been a time where we did an event where they had to find her and she was hidden, so I had to know where she was and to tell them whenever to go and go find them. But you know, they didn't, you know, I didn't want them hearing where she was or anything like that, so for me it was a good time to use Discord in that regard. In that respect. And I think actually another thing that I would just kind of say, like, actually whenever you're setting up, I think it is good to always have that basic rule, you know, if we're doing an open event or even just a regular event, somebody comes up, creates trouble, you click that ignore button.
Be gone.
Yes, be gone.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I have to agree. And especially with, you don't have to use Discord, but if you are getting help from someone, or that you're doing a co-op with an event, that it is then actually very good to have Discord, so that you don't have to handle two chats at one, that you just have to handle the club chat. That is very good. Okay. Are we done with the tips? I think we are. And as I said, there are more below, from me at least. But how do you all find inspiration for events? Cici.
Well, there's a there a lot of different situations. Maybe like if you go on an event that another club member is hosting, and you think like, wow, this is a cool idea. And you either want to try that yourself, or you want to try it in a different way. So yeah, club members can be a really good
inspiration.
Also if you want to make events with another club member, you can find inspirations together, just spawning ideas. Or you can look at a question, theme in general, like how would Gymkhana, like tricks on horseback, how would that, can we make an event out of that in Star Stable? How can we translate that? And or you can like, oh, I really like Harry Potter, I want to play like, I want to have like, the sorting hat and stuff like that, very themed events, so you can really find inspiration from everywhere. So yeah, you can just do what you want. You only need creativity and friends. That's all you need. So yeah.
I agree. TC?
When I'm trying to come up with new event ideas, typically I will sometimes theme around real life holidays, so like as I mentioned earlier, St. Patrick's Day was one. or like Easter, so we've themed it around Easter. Things like that will sometimes influence it, or for example, we've had ones that have been themed off TV shows or different games. Like I think whenever we did our costume one, you had to create a costume that related to another kind of character in a video game, I think was one of them.
Yeah.
So like some people did Link from The Legend of Zelda. So things like that, I kind of, and it's just a case of sometimes actually other people will say, can we have an event on this? And I'll go,
Yeah,
right, okay.
I guess.
And then sometimes they'll go, can we have an event on this? And I'm like, well, what is that? Explain it to me. Because, and then there's other times where somebody will say, can I do an event like this? And I'm like, yes, okay. Tell me when, where, and what we're doing, and I will put it up there, and then people know.
Yeah.
Because that's the way I do say that to my club. I like, if you want to do an event that's outside of the normal month thing, you just come to me and you tell me when, what we're doing, and where.
Yeah.
So that I can tell everyone else. So I think it kind of comes from that, and then I guess this podcast will be a good one for people to come up with new event ideas as well.
Yeah. We are big.
Have not done very many like really equestrian themed events. Like we've done dressage and show jumping, cross country events and things like that, and hacks and stuff. But I feel like this will give me more ideas going forward for actual more proper things. So
Yay!
that was the plan.
Yeah. And quick, where do you find inspiration?
I follow a lot of clubs on Instagram and stuff like that, so I kind of like to see, you know, what they're doing, what kind of events they're creating. I just dropped my notes. Oops. But I do like to pull inspiration from obviously social media and see what other people are doing and how they've executed it and how people enjoyed it. And I'm like, well, if their club enjoyed it, maybe my club will enjoy it, or maybe this is something that I can take for myself, readjust, put it in, or put my own twist onto it, and then put it out to the club. Also, like TC said, there's a lot of members in the club that will come up to me and be like, hey, I have an idea for an event. Maybe we could host this. Or they'll come to me and say, okay, I have an idea for an event, but I don't want to host it myself. Here's the information. Can you host it for us? And I'm like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. They've given me a full description of what is to be done and information and stuff like that, and when it can happen. We do have a section in our Discord channel where people can either request to hold an event, or they can put suggestions, and then people can either volunteer forward to hold that event, or the owners will host it. So it's just kind of, we like to engage them in. Me and Hannah, we try obviously our best to have events.
Yeah.
But again, we all kind of have our own separate lives, so we try.
You do? I have no idea what that is.
So we try to invite the club members to, you know, well, if you feel confident enough that you'll be able to host an event, put your idea down there, request kind of a meeting with either me or Hannah, talk us through it, convince us that you are willing and that you are happy and thought it out fully to hold an event, and we'll be happy to let you do it. We usually try and at least have one of us there, so either Hannah or me there during the event, so that if anything kicks off, or if maybe the person hosting needs a little bit of help, we're there to help them. But overall, we do like to give them that independence. Well, if you want to host an event, give us the information, and if you can show us that you are willing and that you are happy to complete it effectively, then go right ahead, because we like to engage them in all that.
Yes.
What else did I write down here? Actually, no, I think that's all.
I really like that channel idea. I'm gonna suggest it.
It's really helpful, because obviously if I'm at a block, like a creative block, where I'm like, well, I want to host an event, but I don't really know what I can do, or if Hannah's at a creative block where, okay, well, we can't think of something together, but then we have so many people in the club that are so creative and are constantly looking for new things and are constantly seeing new things, like, oh, hey, this would be really cool. This would be really cool. Like, we welcome them to give us recommendations so that we can obviously cater the club to what they like. Because after all, as club owners, your goal is to obviously make sure that your members are happy and that they're satisfied with what's going on in the club. So, you know, giving that kind of engagement and involvement just gives it a little bit more of a feeling to them. Like, they're not just members in a club, they're also getting involved and they're hosting their own stuff. You know, they're creating their own events. They're contributing to the whole atmosphere, if that makes sense. So, no, we do welcome them to, you know, even if it's just ideas in general, like what would you like to see in the club, but we do have that opportunity where they can host events, and we've had a few in the past, and they've gone great, because we've made sure that the person has given enough information that everybody knows what they're doing, and then at least one of the owners have been there to make sure that everything goes smoothly, and it went great. It was fun. It was good. So,
Liked it. How I find inspiration is, well, pretty easy, since my focus is on horse sports. I watch a lot of horse sports. Like, I follow the show jumping competitions that they have, especially our Swedish riders that are so good. And so show jumping and dressage. Can't follow much of terrain, since that is not shown on TV that much, sadly. And not much on Icelandic horse sports either are not shown on TV. But that I sort of mix with, like, I myself have been riding when I was younger and been to riding school and that. So I sort of mix that in a way, and I always find inspiration when I'm watching show jumping. I sort of get in that sort of mode where I'm starting to think like, okay, what could I do? And I also like going, like, just Googling exercises, and you can find exercises where people say like, oh, I just do this. A lot of them do require fences and like the sticks on the fences. What's that called?
The poles.
The poles, like they requires a lot of poles, and we can't have that in the game, sadly. But you can like take it and do it your own way in the game. So yeah, just look at a lot of horse sports and then be creative in the game. And hopefully in the future it will be a lot easier. Nagging, and it's gonna happen someday. But yeah, so that is how we find inspiration. Mostly, at least how I do it. But holding events, it's a lot of people, and so I at least feel that it needs to be rules. Do you guys think there should be any rules for order when the event is being held? And since I already started, so I guess I should start. For me, rules are very important. Like, I need it in my life. I hate chaos. I can't do it. And also, in a way, when I was thinking about it, it is important, since the riding lesson and the competition is a form of role playing. You take it in and you feel like, oh, I have my horse and we have been training a lot and we're gonna doing this competition and we're gonna win, and or we are in this riding lesson, we're gonna train, and you see all the other students. So and then is how I incorporate, like, what are the rules when you are at a riding lesson in real life? Well, you keep your distance from the other riders. You not sprint from one side to another when the others are walking. And you don't suddenly just stop in your track and go BRB in the middle of the lesson. You don't do that. So I have a lot of rules. Cici can she can say I do have it.
You're known for tough love.
My tough love, and whenever we have like a new member or something, I always start with like, okay, let's just repeat the rules. But it is important because it keeps the atmosphere intact, and when it gets too chaotic, well, then it's ruined. So for me, it's very important. So yeah. But what about you, TC? Do you have rules?
What I normally do actually is every single time I do an event, I post it on Instagram, is I have a list of, I think it's 5 rules, and the first one is the judge will be appointed by the club creator. So whoever is in charge of the event, that is who's in charge. That's kind of just reinforcing that person is in charge of this event.
Yeah, that's good.
That's not questioned. And then the like points will be awarded by the judge for like if it's a class that requires you to do something, it'll be, you get points for turnout and performance based on the specification of each class. So that would be a rule. And then I usually ask the people, always ensure that they have the tack and the gear and the horses prepared in advance so that we can start on time. That's one of the rules. Like, having said that now, sometimes what I have actually done the last couple of times that I've hosted events like that, there was an event we did at Christmas time, and it had a couple of different horse classes. So I did like say to people, you have 5 minutes from, like, say it was 8 o'clock. All right, you have until 5 past 8 to get back here with your horse. Because that was enough time to go back, go into your home stable, bring the horse, and come back. So I would do that. And then the other thing is I always tell people to have their chat open in order to know what's going on, because while we do sometimes have closed events, which are just the club, because I have technically 2 clubs, being the Dragon Gloves division and the Emerald Gloves division, they can't see each other's club chats.
Yeah, no.
So they need to use set chat. So that is why I always tell them that. And then my other thing is just like, we're starting at this time and where we'll be, so that people know where to be and when and so forth. And then just, I guess, really in terms of like rules that kind of overall apply. I mean, I have basic club rules that are like, don't fight with other people, and if anybody's nasty, kind of just put them on ignore. So that kind of covers that. I don't really necessarily have to put it there. And if I have anything specific to a specific type of event, I'll add that in, but normally I just go with those 5 basic rules, basically.
Yeah. Okay. CC?
One rule that I really enjoy that our club, Common Socks, has is that the event holder has the word during the event. So it basically means that the one or the ones that hold the events has control over the chat. So they have the space and time to explain the event. Because if people just, use the club chat as normal, just chatting and hi and blah blah blah, how are you, blah, then it gets really messy really fast and you get nowhere. So we have this strict rule that if there is an event, then the chat is reserved, the club chat is reserved for that event. And the one holding the event has priority and has so it's much easier if the event holder, get the time to explain the event, because if that person is interrupted, then it's wasting everyone's time. So the event holder is supposed to have the time to explain the event, and after that is explained, then you can have a moment like, is there any questions? And then you can ask questions, and then you can move on. Because otherwise it gets so messy and frustrating. So that's really a good point to have.
I sort of want to add to you two who were late to your own event. I was at, like, this rule is very important for me as well in Common Hogs. Like, the chat is reserved. It's mine when I am holding events. There was one time, I don't know what it was, but I was not going to go to the event, and I knew that. But I logged on, and for some reason I had forgotten there was an event, and there was some game going on, and so they were chatting, but I didn't really think of it being a game. I just thought they were chatting, and suddenly I wrote, "Oh, hi everyone," and Frida, who I'm very close to as well, wrote in friend chat going like, "There's an event, what are you doing?" And I was like, oh my god, and I felt so bad the entire day, because they know me as this sort of the ride instructor who was very strict. Oof, I felt so bad. Like, and I didn't apologize or anything, I just went quiet, and when they were done I was like, I'm so sorry. So there are bloopers. It's okay to sort of, it can happen sometimes, but try and stick to the rules. Quick, what about your rules?
Well, I definitely have rules to make sure that people are aware of rules when I do events, because again, you don't want anything going south.
No.
But the club in general does just have set rules that you have to abide to, like all the time. There's no time where, okay, well, this rule doesn't apply right now, or this... No. All the rules that are already set, as soon as you join that club, you have already agreed to follow the rules that we have set. They are there for a reason, and if they are broken, a member can either get a warning, or they can get removed, depending on the severity.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do just have other special rules that are only set for during events. Like I said, when we do rules and stuff like that, we use Discord a lot to explain and just have the person who's hosting to speak clearly, because we are not that great at typing as fast like you guys are in chat, so it just gives us a little bit more of an easier way to execute kind of like the speaking and the instruction part. But some of the main rules that we have during events is when the person who is hosting the event is talking, everybody else is quiet.
Yeah.
Especially if they're giving instructions. So if I was to host an event and it's like, okay, this is how everything is going on. When I'm giving those instructions, everyone has to be on mute. Everybody has to be on silent. Because otherwise there's a chance that people might miss information, you might use information, and then a little bit down the line, people will be like, wait, what are we doing? I don't understand.
Yeah.
When did you say this? It's like, well, I said it at this part, but because you were talking, you didn't hear it.
Yeah.
So that's just there to make sure that everybody is on the same wavelength and that everybody knows exactly what's going on. Another thing that I like to say sometimes is that if we're having an event that is heavily based in the game, like I said before, sometimes we have quizzes and stuff that we hold, and usually during those we kind of, sit in one area, we ride our horses or stay in one area in the game, and then we're on an external program or website doing like a quiz and stuff like that. But if we're doing an event in game that is literally just activities in the game specifically, there is no we don't allow it when people in the club go up to somebody else who maybe is just observing what we're doing. I always tell them, if somebody is to come over to us and is to, stand in the same area as us, if we're lining up and somebody decides to come line up with us, there is no telling them to leave and to go away, because they have just the same amount of rights as we do to be there.
I have to agree completely there. I just have to say that again, because there's the amount of times I've seen clubs in the riding hall, and then somebody comes in to use the riding hall too, and it's like, we were here first. It's everybody's space.
Yeah, it's not your game. You don't own it, and everybody is free to use the same space as you are.
Yeah.
Another thing that not with Glade Gamers personally, but with TSS, Mooney is very strong and strict with this, which I agree with. A lot of people in the community love riding around in the TSS uniform, for instance, and I love seeing it. And Mooney has recently come out with the idea of having a fan outfit as well, so that people can obviously wear that and show their support even further. But she's made it very apparent that us as TSS members are not to go up to someone if they are wearing the official club outfit for actual members. We are not to tell them to change. We are not to tell them to get out of the outfit, because again, we don't own that. That is not ours, and we have no right to tell someone to change completely. Yeah. So that's just another thing that I just want to stress. You have to remember that things in the game and areas in the game, you might be using them, but other people are also very welcome to use them too. It is their right to use anything in the game. That's what they sign up for. They are there to be used by everybody, so a club or a member cannot claim it.
Yeah, totally.
But no, those are usually just event rules that I like to say, and just general club rules. But we do have a set of club rules that are constantly there and that are constantly required to be followed, because again, depending on the severity, a member might be temporarily moved, warned, or just completely banned completely from the club overall, and no returns kind of thing. But I think rules are very important, just to make sure that everybody is on the same wavelength, and to make sure that you're taking those extra precautions to make sure that nothing is going to go wrong, and that none of the planning was a little bit overseen, and so rules are definitely definitely very important, and I would suggest that if you're going to host an event, even if it's just one rule of, okay, well, don't do this, even that one rule can save you from a huge mess up, like an hour or half an hour down the line. Just make sure that everybody's on the same wavelength.
That is very good ending to that question, I feel.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even add to it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for not making me feel like I'm the only one who is very
No, I rely on the ground rules because I'm a person that I don't have a lot of patience when it comes to if the rules are there, you've clearly seen them and you choose to like break them, it's not my fault, it's not my problem. Bye, buddy. I don't have a lot of sympathy when it comes to people breaking rules or doing stuff that is clearly wrong or is clearly being stated as wrong and inappropriate. So,
because I was thinking, in a way, for the rules, if you're having like a writing lessons and you are in this role play, you are in this atmosphere that you want to keep, and you have the rules and someone is breaking it, there is a way to keep the atmosphere intact without going like, okay, could you just please leave? It is a way where you can go like, okay, well, you today don't really seem, your horse seems not to be okay, or are you okay? Like, you seem to be out of it, because you're walking into that wall I told you is there all the time, since I have the invisible wall in the riding arena, like, or you seem to be running all over the place, your horse doesn't seem safe today, you should probably go out. Get out. So far I haven't had to do it because everyone has been respecting my rules to the point that I don't feel like I need to tell someone to leave. But as I said, there is a way to like not make it really too obvious, like go like, you know what, your horse seems tense today, you should probably leave it. But yes, moving on to the next question, which is similar. Is it often that you hold or attend events that has the requirement for horse and gear? Let's start with Cici.
Yes. As mentioned before, Common Talks is a equestrian themed club.
Yes.
So we usually do have very realistic events, and therefore we have requirements that are very realistic. For example, you always need a riding helmet at all times.
Yes.
Otherwise you can't ride. You're not allowed. You're
Nope.
like, nope. Bye.
Safety first.
So yeah, or if we have cross country, then you need your riding helmet and your riding vest. Or for example, if we are having a hack into Dino Valley, then you need your warm clothes. And usually also a cold resistant horse. Other than that, the horse requirements are usually just optional, choose whatever horse you want, but it has to be max level for most of the events. So yeah, I think it's really fun to have requirements for horse and gear and outfits, because it's add to the events, because then you can have like a moment to prepare before. That's really nice, and it really makes like a big ritual before you go to an event, and it makes like, it just adds to it. And it's fun to make outfits. And it really adds to that aspect of role playing too.
Yes.
So I really like that.
I have to agree, and I have it a lot. Like, especially, well, for instance, I have my trail rides that are for specific breeds that I do now. So it's very important that the attendants have the breed that I have asked for. Because I'm doing also group photography, is that a word? No, probably not. A groupie. I do a groupie during the train ride. So and it also, like, I have been questioned because people be like, why can't, if you're having like Mustangs, why can't I just come with a quarter? Well, is not really for the quarter, it's for the Mustang. The quarters will be another time, and that's why I also make sure it is trail rides, because they aren't really that much they are missing. Like, they will be attending more trail rides later, and there aren't that many ways I can go around the island. So that I have very specific. And also when holding Icelandic horse lessons, well, they're just gonna be Icelandic horses, because they're only ones that can tolt. And believe you me, if there is another horse there that is going to be trotting, they're going to be overrun with all the tolters. So, no other horse. And yes, for gear, I am very set that people must have their helmet on. If they're not, oof, I'm going to be pissed. Because I feel like if you're writing down that there's going to be a certain breed and there's going to be a certain helmet, the people that are going to attend have to respect that just as much as other rules. If they don't, I feel they are basically, sorry, but flipping you off if they don't come to if they come to an event not wearing anything that I told them to do. I'd be like, why are you here? Why? This is rude.
Yeah.
Like, you're not listening to me at all. You can just go. So for me, it is very important, but I don't have it all the time. Like, I can have simple dressage lesson when people can come with whatever they want, but they have to have their helmet. It's very important. That helmet is important. So that is for me. How is it for you, TC?
I would find that, like, most of the events I go to don't necessarily ask you to bring, you know, anything specifically stat-wise. Sometimes you might get asked to bring a certain horse or maybe to wear a certain colour, but other than that, I haven't really had anything really, really specific. Now, obviously, if I was doing a dressage event, I expect you to turn up in dressage stuff. And if I was doing something themed towards something, I expect you to make an outfit toward that theme. So, like, if it's a summer outfit, I expect it to kind of be summery. Or if it's Halloween, you know, that kind of goes with that. But I don't really have too much in that regard requirements. Because we don't tend to do things that require very specific things very often. And often because we're doing open events, it's not fair to say, well, you have to have this specific thing. It doesn't, because for people who are going to an open event, they'll just be like, well, I'm going to use this once, so they might not be really that keen on it. So I think maybe for closed events, maybe it's better if you're something you're going to be using frequently, like dressage events or sword jumping or something like that. But and the other thing is too, I suppose, because if I require a specific thing, you know, I also am aware when I'm doing events that I'm going to have non-star riders sometimes. So I'm not going to, you know, organize something that's like an opponent and it requires a horse that you can only get when you're level 16. I mean, obviously there has been times where I have hosted, there was a time that I did an event and it was like a competition one, but we split everybody of different player levels into ranges. So like, if you were below player level 7, you were in a set. If you were player level 7, 14, you were in a set. If you were player level like 14 or something, up to maybe 16, and then maybe from 17 to 21 or something like that. So we split them up to do the little different competitions, because in that particular situation we were doing the show jumping courses in the riding hall, so it wasn't necessarily fair to put a level 7 against a level 21. So we tried to make it as equal as we possibly could and put people of similar levels together. And in that situation, I would have said bring statted gear for that and bring a horse that's level 15. Although I suppose the most common thing that we would do is whenever I have open events, I often do sometimes have events where you will maybe bring a different horse. So I think when we did our Christmas one, we asked people to bring a cold tolerant horse for one of the classes, and then we asked people to bring, you know, the Frosty Wild that came out in the Winter Village for a different class. But I wasn't, you know, really, really, really strict on certain things, like in terms of clothing or things like that. So don't really use it that much, just for certain things.
Okay, and quick.
Well, with my club, we aren't usually that strict on outfits and with outfits and horses. Obviously we do have a uniform and a club horse, but when the members join in. Glade Gamers is kind of more of a chilled back, kind of relaxed club, so we're not strict on very much, except for the rules. Our rules is like the only big thing that you need to be aware of. So when it comes to the uniform, during events we do usually say, oh, okay, well, if you have the uniform, then definitely wear it. If you don't, that's fine. Just get it when you can. We usually just ask people to get the shirt. The shirt is their main priority because it's the thing that stands out the most. It's very bright. It's very apparent. And then the rest of the outfit is usually just quite dull and chill because the shirt, again, is our main detail and is the main thing that makes us stand out. So,
Smart.
yeah, exactly. So when it comes to events, we usually just say, wear the club outfit if you can. If you don't have it, just try and get the the t-shirt, because expecting someone to get a horse and a special outfit and stuff like that for just in general for the club can sometimes be, it's a big commitment, because obviously they have to either spend the star coins that they've been saving for a while on something that maybe you'll only use a few times in an event, or maybe they don't have the star coins, so then they have to spend real money on star coins to then be able to buy this in-game stuff. So when it comes to events, I usually just ask them, okay, if you don't have the full uniform, just bring the shirt, just have the shirt, because at least that way it'll look somewhat cohesive if we were to take a photo. And then the rest of our outfit is black and a little bit of white, so I'll just tell them, okay, well, if you don't have the pants, or if you don't have the hat, if you don't have the gloves, if you don't have the boots, just wear anything that you have that is close, and then just make sure that you do have the shirt, because everything else about the outfit is pretty simplistic and is easily kind of made up with something maybe a little bit cheaper or something maybe a little bit easier to get. But yeah, no, with events we don't usually ask that much of, okay, well, you have to come in this outfit. In the past, we have obviously had Halloween events, and one of the tasks or activities have been a dress-up event where you dress up as either a specific theme, or you choose a character that you dress up and you try and kind of cosplay, I guess, as that. And obviously that is an outfit requirement, but we're not telling you to go buy a specific thing. You have to be creative with what you've already got, so they're not spending any extra currency or any extra real money to try and then buy star coins to then fill the requirements that we're asking. And then when some of the coaches host like their riding lessons, when Chris is our dressage coach, when she hosts her dressage lessons, we usually ask that people who are joining, you know, wear a dressage saddle, wear a dressage outfit, make sure you look somewhat proper as to what an actual dressage lesson would look like. The game has Western saddles, it has jumping and high activity saddles, and it does have dressage saddles. So you do have different variety between disciplines. So when it comes to, again, Chris's dressage saddle, she usually prefers if people came in dressage attire. Now, she doesn't have a specific outfit as to what she wants. She doesn't have a special set outfit for every dressage lesson, because obviously people can't commit to that much spending. But she does ask, well, come up with your best kind of interpretation of a dressage outfit that you would see in an actual dressage lesson. Take your own swing on it, but make sure that it looks somewhat presentable in case, you know, you take photos. Like, don't have a purple bridle, a brown saddle, and then like a rainbow colored saddle blanket, because our lessons are supposed to be somewhat realistic. It's kind of like our roleplay side of the whole thing. So obviously you're not going to go out to a whole dressage lesson and you're not going to see someone riding around a purple bridle and a Western saddle. So we do just try, you know, like tell them, bear in mind, this is kind of more of a realistic roleplay. If you're not into that stuff, our lessons are not mandatory, so they don't have to take part in it. But if they do wish to take part, they just need to, you know, bear in mind real life looks, and to not turn up in purple bridles and stuff like that.
Speaking of,
well, I mean, nothing's wrong with purple bridles, but you don't see it often enough.
Saddle that you can match with a purple bridle.
I mean, if they can find something that goes well with a purple bridle, then I'll accept it. But what I'm talking about is I don't want somebody to turn up in like a purple or a pink bridle and then have like a brown or a blue western saddle for a dressage lesson.
Oh,
It just
okay.
yeah, no, I don't mean as in I don't like purple. Don't bring it.
Okay. No, I understand. Yeah, mismatching, no, but
Because I was like,
No.
well, she's just colorful, but she always matches in some way.
No, I don't mean as in like you can't have a full purple set. I mean as in don't have an orange saddle, a purple western.
Yeah.
Don't look crazy.
Don't look like you just jumped into a whole pile of paint and then turned up to the lesson.
Oh,
that is
we
for
do-
other events.
Exactly.
yeah.
That's for we just crossed the Rainbow Bridge event. That's not for
Yes.
this event. So yeah,
That's okay. Yeah.
even though we. But what if they have a pretty purple dressage outfit?
Yeah. For me, that's okay. Just so long they have their helmet. I don't care.
But yeah, no. Even though we don't have a lot of set outfits, we do just ask that, you know, if it's a role play session that you kind of wear something that's appropriate, or if it's a club event, then we'll usually just say, well, I mean, it's a club event and we're going to be doing this here and this there, so preferably wear your club uniform if you don't have it all, put the t-shirt on at least.
Yeah.
And then if it's like a dress up kind of event where, you know, you're having a competition of who could be the best spookiest person, who's the best, I don't know, naturistic person, then obviously you dress up for those categories, but we try and limit it to star coin spending. We don't want them all to, you know, they join the club and instantly go, I'm going to buy everything now, I'll sell all of my horses, sell all of my outfits, and I'll buy all the gear. And we're like, no, I don't want you to do that because it's unfair on you.
Yeah.
For all you know, you might, you know, turn around in a few days and say, this club isn't really for me, I'm gonna leave. But then you've spent all that time spending on the uniform, on the club horse, on the tack set, and it's just not fair. So we do tell them, you know, take your time. The only big thing that we ask you to bring is your uniform top. And then you can, you know, slowly migrate to getting everything else as you go along, and as you decide, okay, I like this club, I'm I'm prepared to fully commit to, you know, everything else. But yeah, no. Yes.
Great. We are getting to our last question that is for every one of us to answer, and then we're moving on to roasting quick. No, we're not gonna roast.
Excuse me.
Our last question is, how do you prepare for events? I feel like we already answered this. Have we? Do we feel like we want to answer this?
I can add some things.
Okay. So, Cici, how do you prepare for events, horse gear, and so on?
Yeah, I think it's important to take some time before the event to prepare yourself. So I think it's really important to have all the things you need done before. Like eating dinner, showering, have a bathroom break, fixing your snacks and water, and all stuff like that. That must be done before the event starts. Because it's incredibly rude to go BRB or, you know, during the event. So that is really important to prepare before, because an event is, you know, a commitment to time for, you know, like 30 minutes to an hour or longer, you know. So that's really important. So yeah, I usually take like about 20 minutes before to also like prepare an outfit, choose my horse, and then travel to the destination where the event is.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of cozy in a way too, to have like a little ritual, like you log in and, you know, say hi to your club mates and like, oh, what are you wearing and what horse are you gonna take today and like that. It's really cozy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can make like a lot of fun things about it too, to just prepare and like, oh, what kind of outfit do you want today?
Yeah. That is true. And I always have this thing that I need to have a horse that no one else has at that event.
Oh,
I have issues. So I can go, like, especially at the trail rides, I feel like when I have a breed trail ride where we're gonna have for Mustangs, for example, I'm gonna wait in my stable and have everyone gather and then tell them, okay, what color do we miss? Because I always have a few colors, and they went like, okay, so the spotted one, we don't have that, and I went like, woo, I can have that one. So I always do that.
Rose likes to be extra.
Yes, I like to be unique. I can't handle being someone else and be like, oh my god, we're matching.
Matchy matchy.
Change. Oh, no, I can't do that. So yeah, I always try to prepare, but it also depends on the event. What is it for an event? Is it going to be a riding lesson event? And I'm probably going to choose a Hanoverian, whatever. And if it's going to be a game, that is when I usually take the horses that I never use for riding lessons. So I can take like a North Swedish horse or a pony or the Frisian or whatever, and take those out so they get to go out as well.
Yeah.
So that is how I prepare. Try to be as unique as I can. I have issues. But TC, do you have issues?
I have a really short answer for this. I either am really prepared and I prepare like an hour before, or I'm not really prepared and I run into my stable 5 minutes before the event starts and I just throw whatever on and take the horse out and I'm out. That's me.
Oh my goodness.
It just depends.
Rose is shaking.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, it's itching. Like, oh my god. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then quick, how is it for you?
So usually I try to make sure that I'm not in a call with somebody else before an event, preferably, you know, like half an hour after the event was supposed to be, but
Oh my gosh.
it was a bad day, okay? But yeah, no, when it comes to events, like a lot of you guys have said, I do try and log on ahead of time, get everything prepared. Like if I have said, okay, we'll come on this horse, I'll get a horse of that breed, or I'll get the specific horse that I've mentioned, and then I'll get my gear and my outfit ready ahead of time. You know, chat in the chat with whoever of the club members are already logged in, and just like, oh, hey, how's it going? See you in a little bit, you know. And then I usually ask the members to be in the event call on mute 10 minutes before the actual time, along with being at the location 10 minutes before, so that as soon as that time hits like 8 p.m. or something, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
And everybody is prepared to listen and is to, you know, everyone's just ready. And then obviously once all of that is done, everyone's in the same place, we're all in the call, we're all ready to hear the instructions. I'll run through the rules again, I'll make sure everybody's aware of what's going on, and then the event starts. Now, as an actual club member, obviously before with Glade Gamers, I'm speaking of being an owner and how I prepare for that. As a member, you know, it's usually the same case of I'll log on a little bit ahead of time, I'll get my outfit ready, get my horse ready, and I'll head out to the location. And then I'll make sure that I myself as a member has joined an event call, or if there isn't a call, then I'll make sure that I have my chat open and prepared and ready to make sure that I, you know, not missing any information and stuff like that. If I'm joining an event call as a member or as an owner, actually, I'll make sure that my surroundings are quiet, that I've got no interruptions. Like Cece said, I'll make sure that everything that I need to do for the day is done before I sit down, because again, like you said, that time, you agreeing to go to that event, it's a time commitment. You're committing to spending a certain amount of time with a certain amount of people doing a certain subject. So if you can't commit to that pack or that section of time in your day to, you know, not interrupt, to be a part of that whole situation that's going on, then don't go. Because then if you've got, you know, people asking you, hey, we're going out, like, hurry up and get ready. And you're like, oh, well, I'll be back in just a second. I need to go get dressed, or I need to go get food, or I'll have dinner and I'll come back in 15 minutes. You're disrupting everybody else, and you're disrupting the event for everybody else. So if you're agreeing to go to an event, make sure that you are fully prepared. When it comes to TSS events, a lot of them are late night for me.
Yeah.
So they'll be at like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning, sometimes 12 if I'm lucky.
Wow.
I'm a night owl. It's fine. I'm nocturnal.
Wow.
I'll make sure that I am fully prepared. Well, if I'm going to be up from 1 a.m. to possibly like 3 a.m., I don't know how long
Wow.
that is going to go to. I need to be fully prepared, and I need to make sure that I am willing to take that time out of my sleep time to then transfer it over my actual daytime. Like if I have something going on the next day, I need to make sure that I'm not halfway through the event going, oh, hey guys, I'm really tired. I have stuff to do tomorrow. I'm going to leave. And it's a little bit disrespectful because obviously, for instance, if Mooney was to hold an event and halfway through the event, I'm like, oh, Mooney, I'm really tired. I'm going to go to sleep. It's kind of like even if this isn't the kind of message you're putting across, it's like, I'm bored. I'm going to bed. My bed is more important than this, but even if that's not the message that you're putting across, it still could be something that is picked up because obviously you said, oh, it's late. So you need to make sure that you're fully prepared to stay for that amount of time and even possibly longer because, you know, members do still like to hang out after an event is over. But you do just need to make sure that you're willing to give that time commitment.
Yes. Yeah, I agree, and we do actually have that rule in our that if you're going to an event, you're gonna be there from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like, of course, if something happened that your dog's froze up or needs to go to the hospital or someone is like severe situations, yes, of course, then you can leave the event. But if you go like, oh, mom is calling for food, I'm gonna be like, why are you here?
Yeah.
I feel that for me is rude, like, because I would never go to an event and go like, well, I have to leave after 20 minutes because and also the ones that go like, I'm just gonna go and eat, can I go back later? Because I'm like, no, I'm not gonna repeat myself for you. You're not that special.
Oh wow.
I agree though.
No, it's all about respect. Really. If you're gonna be there, you're gonna respect the one that is actually hosting this event because that person has been putting a lot of time of planning and holding this event. All you need to do is show up and be there for the entire hour or whatever it is. That is very important. Yes, and I was very serious there, but that is very important.
I don't mind if somebody goes to 8 or whatever, as long as I don't have to, like,
TC!
I don't... This is the way I am, right? I wouldn't go to somebody else's event and like, leave halfway. And, like, there has been occasions where I have genuinely had to go, and I've told people in advance, you know, I'll be there for the first hour, but I won't be able to stay afterwards. Like, I do that because I don't want anybody to think I've just left halfway through.
Yeah.
Because there was a situation there, there's a club that comes to a lot of our open events, and they were hosting one, and I went to theirs, and I did say to her before I started, I said, I do have to go in an hour, because I think I had either a driving lesson, or I had to go and look after a member of my family. It was one or the other, I can't remember. Like, I don't mind if, like, somebody's like, oh, I'm going to eat, I have to go and get my dinner now, or whatever, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to stop the event at the same time. Like, don't get me wrong, like, if somebody's like, I have to go eat or whatever, I'm fine with that, but I'm not going to pause the event until they come back, if that makes sense. That's the way I am. So
maybe it depends on what kind of events it is. Like, for me, when it is a riding lesson, just jumping back in, it's gonna be hard for that person, I feel.
I can understand
they have
in that
missed
situation,
stuff.
yeah, because I feel like that's a very in-the-moment thing, whereas, like, with a lot of our events, if you come back in 20 minutes or whatever, it's not really a big deal.
Yeah, like games, for example, you can, like, I just wait for the next round of hide and seek or whatever. So. But when it comes to riding lesson, I feel like that is very important to tell your students, like, you're here until the end. And you're not going there. And if they have, like, okay, me for having EBS, I never had to leave because of my EBS, but I like, Rita knows that I have it, and if my stomach would tell me, like, nope, you're going to the bathroom, I am going to step out of the arena, and I'm not going to stand in the middle of anything.
Oh, yes.
At least go outside. So, it's very important to be respectful of everyone.
Yeah, or I have had during some of the lessons, Rose, like I have gotten when we have riding lessons in riding hall, and we go like I have no idea what this is called in English. You know, when we on the volt, also på volten.
When we do circle, big circle,
Yeah, I have had sometimes when I got motion sick.
yeah,
Have had problem with my hand.
yeah.
I get cramps in my hand. So then I have had during those times I've gone, because you usually stand like in the middle of the riding hall. So I just go towards you in the riding hall and just stop my horse and park my horse there, and then I tell you like I'm not feeling well. Can I just take 2 minutes?
Take a minute.
And like
Yeah.
pause a bit, and then I can go back.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But not like if you go away and then you just come back like 10 minutes later. That
No. That is okay.
But that's a legit reason.
Yes.
I would
That's
say that
okay.
actually. I got really dizzy during an actual riding lesson years and years ago.
Oh.
I had to go and stand in the middle and dismount and just sit on the floor for
Yeah.
a minute.
Oh wow!
I've had
I
that.
got
Me too. Me too.
I was just standing in the middle of arena and like I having a bleed. And she was like, "Oh, just stand here and wait," and it wouldn't end. So I had to get off and go out.
Oh.
It was so sad. That was a sad day. But okay, I feel like we're ending that part with a very serious note, but it is important because I feel like there is a lot of clubs struggling with people showing up and then leaving. Like it is important to tell you that you have to be respectful to the people that are holding the events because they are nervous, they are taking on responsibilities. All you can do is actually being respectful and cheering them on and doing what is requested of you.
But just a quick thing, I'm a very laid back person and I'm a very laid back owner, so when it comes to stuff like that, sometimes I can be a little bit lenient, like okay, if you're like we've already started but you haven't missed much, then you can just slot in, but like again Rose said, I won't repeat myself. So if you miss something, then you've missed it, you try and just figure it out yourself. But if other people are also, obviously other people are going to be possibly laid back owners, you need to make sure that even though your club members know that, oh, she's laid back, it's fine, don't take advantage of it and don't let people take advantage of it. Like, okay, this person was late for this riding lesson, they were only a few minutes late, they didn't miss much, I'll let it off for this time. But if it becomes a pattern, then you need to put your foot down. Like, it's not always okay and it's not always fun to be the bad guy, as to say, but sometimes you need to for messages to get put across. Like every so often I will have to have a serious talk with club members. I'm like, okay, well, this is something that we want to avoid, and I'm a laid back person, but this needs to be understood. So you may be like me and you may be a laid back person, you may not like to be the bad guy, but sometimes you need to put those stones in place so that you don't get taken advantage of, because it's not fair on you and it's not fair on other people.
Good. I feel like we have to move on. But that was a good ending. Now we're moving on to the questions to you, Quick. There are three questions. Are you ready?
I am.
What do you feel is the hardest part of holding an event?
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You're ready.
I am ready. I'm looking at my notes and I made a lot. But actually no, there's not that much. But hardest parts about holding an event is keeping people under control. My members, they are all very sweet and they are all very lovely, but they are also all very energetic. So that's where the rule of when I'm talking, everybody is silent came in. Because obviously, like I said, I'm a very laid back person. So before, when I used to, I think it was first when the club started out and we'd, have the calls where I'd be giving instructions, and every so often people would be making like little comments in between instructions, like, oh, okay, we'll be going down to Fort Pinter. Oh, I love Fort Pinter. Oh, and stuff like that. And it just, it's lovely to see, like, get the response. But sometimes, it makes you lose track of what you're doing, makes you lose track of what point you're at. So the hardest part of holding events is keeping everyone under control. And that's when I had to set the rule of when I'm talking, when I'm giving instructions, you are silent and you wait until I give you the go ahead to continue talking. They've also all been told that during events, yes, some events are very exciting, but you have to keep screaming to a minimum because everybody, it's not something that you always want to be hearing. So that's just keeping everyone on the same page and keeping everyone under control can sometimes be a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
But I feel now that the club has carried on further and everybody's getting used to, the rules and everybody knows what is and isn't expected during events, all of that's kind of died down a little bit. And also sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to try and get everybody on the same wavelength. Like you'll say one set of instructions and the majority of people might understand it, but then others might be like, well, I don't really understand that. And then you have to try and improvise and word it in a different way that maybe other people can understand. So sometimes that could be a little bit difficult, but otherwise I think as long as you've got your planning and as long as you've got, that mutual respect from your club members ahead of the event, they're not usually that difficult. So that would be that part of those questions.
Good answer. Okay, second question. Is there an event you have held that you still look back on and feel like you did an amazing job? Like this has been your favorite event of...
Well, I wouldn't say that I have an event in the past that I've done that I would say I absolutely adored that event. Nothing in that event went wrong. That event was perfect, it was awesome, and I want to do something similar. But obviously, in the event, not everything is going to go perfectly. Obviously, you might get that one chance where this event was amazing, this event was perfect. Everyone understood, everything went amazing, but there's always one thing that can always be improved, and if there isn't something that can be improved, then you're not branching out to something different. You need to kind of develop to keep everything exciting. So I haven't had an event in the past that I've thought, oh yeah, okay, this was perfect. But one of Glade Gamer's first open events was actually probably one of my favorites. Because obviously it wasn't just members only, and like I said, we heavily revolve around Discord to try and communicate. But during this event, it was more of the club members were helping me with the responsibilities of organizing it. So this event was more helping them kind of get an experience of hosting or helping with an event themselves instead of actually taking part. So I'd have some of them being judges with me, I'd have some of them backstage. It was like a fashion show event. And I'd have some of them backstage making sure that people who weren't a part of the club, who were just there for the open event, were, going on time, they were prepared, they were ready to go. And even though this event, again, like I said, wasn't heavily for the members, a lot of them did enjoy having that experience of the responsibilities of hosting an event. And then a few weeks later, some of the people who had helped out were like, hey, I want to host an event because helping you out with that one was really fun. So it's not the fact that the event was so awesome and so amazing, but it's the fact that some of the members, took it into consideration. Like, okay, well, this is the responsibility that happens when holding an event. And I think from my performance, I can hold one of my own. And then they went on to, host one for the whole club themselves. So that's my answer for that. No, I haven't had an event in the past that I've been like, this is perfect. But that is an event that, that's had an impact on the members and has led them to do other stuff themselves independently.
Well, that's nice. I like that. So, last question. Is there an event idea you wish you could do, but the game makes it difficult to execute?
This is, at first I didn't have an answer for this, but then me and my co-owner Hannah have recently been speaking of having something similar to like a esports racing event with the club. But with esports, like kind of competitions, they can get a little bit complicated. And obviously with the limited amount of stuff that we have in the game, like group numbers, you don't have that many. You can only have 5 members in a group to go together. So you have to, split it up into different rounds if we were to have racing events, or we'd have to have them in teams and members of teams race in different sections. our whole idea of it was like we had a huge brainstorm, and the whole idea of it was there, but some aspects were just, it was a little bit of a bump in the road that we needed to either figure out or try and get rid of completely because the game just didn't allow it.
Yeah.
The main issue being the limited group space. 5 members would obviously include me and Hannah together, making sure that we can see who's going and stuff like that. And then that only allows another 3 other members to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So that is one of the main issues. And our resolve was we have the people who are racing in one group, and then me and her position ourselves in different spots around the actual race course that we've set and time ourselves, time their race times. Because obviously, I know you can have race times in the game where it tells you exactly, but we just kind of want it to do it in the way that we were planning it. It wouldn't really work. But then you have the issue of sometimes, like I know a lot of people see it in championships. On your screen, maybe you're in first place, but then in reality, you see that somebody's already finished or crossed the finish line, and it's a little bit odd, and that's because obviously it's server lag. So that's also something that kind of makes it a little bit difficult with our idea. So definitely the idea of having too small of group invites, and also the fact that sometimes perspectives can lag or are different for some players. And I know that it's going to happen because you're obviously all playing from different areas in the country or different areas in the world, but it just makes it very difficult sometimes to try and figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I can agree. Star Stable is not really e-sport friendly.
No.
I don't think it was their plan in the beginning, and I feel like the group problem is an old problem that needs to actually be fixed. Like, I cannot see why it can only be 5. Why can it at least not be 10? Yeah. Like, at least like it is for championships, like there are groups of 10. So why can't the other be 10? But yeah, so that is a good thing to actually think about. We should forward this. Like, why is it only 5? No, we're gonna do that. So, that was the last question for you, and we're gonna move on, unless there is anyone who has a question about events that feels like I wanna ask this now. Does anyone have a question?
I don't at the moment.
No.
Okay. So we're moving on to the segment, our favorite and least favorite update. I feel like we should have a jingle of this now. No, we're not. But yes, we're gonna start with like our least favorite and then end it with a good note with his favorite update. June has been rather special. It has been slow, with a lot of small updates and then one big one. So it might be that everyone is gonna have an answer that is pretty similar, maybe, but yeah, we just have to deal with that.
Did you say
So
June
we're gonna-
or January?
January.
I was confused for a second.
I mean January. Why am I in June?
It's not warm, it's cold.
I wish it was June. That I would have been graduated and it would be warm then, so maybe it's that. I mean January. January. Yes. So, let's start with Cece's least favorite update. Go.
Yeah, my least favorite was because I don't own a Connemara, so Connemara race just wasn't for me. And during that week it was my very stressful week that I had to finish my final exam. So I just didn't play at all.
Yeah, I know.
That week anyway. So yeah.
Okay. And then your favorite.
My favorite was this is like a really easy one, but it was the main story quest.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome.
It's okay. But okay. Say
It's more
one part. It was more than okay, of course. But can you say one part of the story quest that was this was my favorite? Without spoiling.
But what is the spoiler then?
Like what it was about. You can say like the revamp of the Soul Riders.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. To see Alex and Elisa.
And Linda.
There were
Wow,
3 of them.
Yeah, there were 3.
It's so hard to like wait. How much is spoiled? I don't know. So yeah,
Okay.
they look amazing, and I love the new personalities in the new outfits.
Mhm,
They're so cute, especially Linda. I love her outfit. I want to have it.
Oh yeah.
It's so cute. Oh, I love
I can
her.
say that her it's not a coat. What is it called?
Cardigan?
The cardigan. I have one
Ooh.
very similar to hers. It's grey and it's big and fluffy and it's red.
Linda cosplay.
Yes.
I could
I love her hair.
maybe do it.
So gorgeous. wanna
Yes,
have her
I want
hairstyle.
a bun in game, please.
But how would you have it under your helmet?
And I don't know, the same way that we have the little pigtails under. They just kind of vanish. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's kind of true. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that was your favorite and least favorite update. TC, what was your least favorite update?
Well, I have to say it. Cece, how can you not have a Connemara?
Connemara.
How could you?
I don't know. I mean, they're pretty, but I just
She
during
loves her
time
drafty.
when it came out, I was like, I have too many horses, and then I just really didn't get in on that.
We'll
I
forgive
don't
you
know.
if you
You're
have too many
weird.
horses.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Yeah, I have to agree. How can you not have a Connemara? They're like amazing.
Yeah, so cute.
Yeah, they are amazing. But
I
don't
wouldn't
know,
say
right?
amazing.
For some
Hey,
way.
hey.
I get really
Yeah, but-
chat.
Bye, quick. Thank you for attending.
Well,
Oh,
don't
well.
get me wrong. They're not my favorite breed in the game, but
No.
I love them in real life. So
Yeah. Yeah.
It's touchy. Mm.
it's because
Okay.
the Hana variant's just too pretty in the game.
Yeah, they are. They are so
They're
pretty.
my babies.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
they're rare.
Okay,
But
so
what was your least favorite?
Sorry, my least favorite thing that we got in January. I've sort of was tossing back and forth the first outfit that we got, and then the sweaters that we got in the last update out of January.
Mm.
But then I sort of thought, you know what? If I was gonna wear anything, well, I probably would say it was actually the new outfit we got from Farah, the new druid outfit, because it's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of this tanny yellow. I
Yeah.
don't like yellow very much, so I'm gonna actually go with that because it just it's not really. I was hoping for maybe some more druid themed outfit colors, maybe more
Yeah.
Pandoria purples, hinted.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Pretty.
I sort of did have this moment where I was like, maybe the reason that it went with the yellow is because it's kind of like the other one's green, the other one's red. Maybe they're going for more nature like colors.
Mm-hmm,
But Pandoria purple, just,
Yeah. And yellow doesn't go with your hair.
yellow does not go with my hair at all. So
No.
yeah, I think out of all the stuff that we got, it was probably mostly the outfit stuff, but that was my least favorite out of those 3 things.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
And then my
So your favorite?
well, I'm gonna go to the story quests. I
Yeah.
think that was kind of expected. In terms of the story quests, there was only one thing that I'd be a little bit critical of, and I sort of felt like Alex's animations nearly seemed slightly too aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Hey.
like, you're moving so much.
Don't you offend my baby.
No, I love Alex. I love her character, but I just
Yeah.
felt like in that particular situation, don't get me wrong, there were certain situations where I feel
Yeah.
like that kind of very almost animated
Heck.
thing would have worked.
Yeah.
But she's not as eccentric as some other characters, like if you compare like Evergrey or Big Bonnie. So I felt like it was just overdone slightly with her there in that particular scenario. Possibly.
I have to agree.
But I liked all the little different references that there was, and there was some, obviously I don't want to spoil anything, but there was some that I just really liked. I was like, these really tie into things that I've come across over the last couple of years of this game, so I really liked that. And I felt it was just the right amount, because when you're recording it in an update video, you just want it to be the right length. I know some people were like, why is there not more? But I was just like, this is the perfect length to record and not have to split into 2 episodes. I'm happy with it. So that's my thoughts on that update.
Okay, good thoughts, I have to say. Okay, and quick, what was your least favorite?
I hate to do it because the textures were so cool, but I was not a fan of the new sweaters. Again, I liked the textures. The textures were so cool, especially when you zoom in, you see all the different, like what you would see as a knitted fiber, I guess, and you see each individual one.
Yeah.
But the colors were just a little bit too
Much.
in your face for me.
Yeah, a bit.
I would have...
Most of them, I have to agree.
I would have liked maybe a few plainer patterns for, the rest of us who, don't want to be walking around with a bright blue star on our chests. But some of the color combinations weren't exactly for me either. Again, the blue and the yellow I was not a fan of at all. Just because, I don't know, they just didn't seem to go very well for my taste. Obviously, people are welcome to their own opinions. You might love the blue and yellow star combo, but it's just not for me. I did end up buying a few of them. I bought the pink and grey star for my Nightstar account because it just fit with TSS so perfectly. And I bought the yellow one because even though I didn't really like the vibrant colours as much, I feel like it wasn't too much. It wasn't too heavy. And I had a few outfits in mind, but overall, I wasn't a huge fan. Not because I know a lot of people when that update came out was saying that it was quote-unquote a lazy update. I don't think it was lazy because they had so much detail in them. Again, like you could see every single individual fiber. I just didn't really like the color palette for my own fashion sense. So I don't think it was lazy, and I don't think that it was, like a quick update that they quickly put together so then they can fill up weeks. I don't see it as that. I just see it as the color palettes just weren't my taste.
I have to agree. I actually did kind of like the yellow one more than I expected, and I liked the grey one with the pink star, even though I'm not a pink person. But the only one I would have actually even slightly considered buying was the grey and white striped one. Everything else just didn't really appeal to me, so I was like, and I don't really wear them. I would have just preferred like block coloured ones.
Yeah. Yes.
In
like black
colours.
knitted sweater.
Yes.
Oh my god, I need
Purple one.
Purple.
The
exactly.
colours.
Yeah.
The colours were on their own a little bit too not really my taste, but also kind of like the patterns were still like even the grey was nice, but it would have just been nice as just grey.
Yeah.
Instead of just continuous stripes, because even though it was the grey and the white are diluted colours, the pattern just makes it too busy, and then it makes it difficult for you to partner it up with anything else like attack set and clothing sets. So that would be just my pointers.
Yeah. Okay. And your favorite?
I mean, I don't think we're all surprised, but Story Quest.
Yeah. No. What?
But if I have to pinpoint anything specifically in the story quests, Alex's and not Tin Can's and Concord's new personalities. Oh. TC, don't you touch my Alex. She's the best. She's so sassy and attitudey now, and she has so much more character. And then Concord too, running around in the arena, being a foal and being happy, being all energetic in the sun. He had me in little butterflies when I saw him running around. So the new personalities of everyone is definitely my new favorite thing.
She.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Spoilers. Shh, everyone.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking about Alex. We're talking about Alex. What do you mean? We're talking about Alex.
But is Alex a he?
And the next time on the next Stars.
Okay, moving on to my least favorite and favorite update then. My least favorite, I have to agree, is the sweaters. But not about the styles. For me, it was the least favorite because they had no Your Week shilling price at all.
Okay, yeah.
and we have been discussing it before, but it has also come to my attention. I haven't been thinking about this at all, but a friend, she just blurted out, going like, "There is no clothes anymore that are released that has a Jorvik shilling price," and I was like, "You're right." And now I feel like I have no reason to waste Jorvik shillings, so they are always at about 10,000 Jorvik shillings. And what am I supposed to do with them except for paying transport right now?
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is a critique a bit to Star Stable, that why even have your Jorvik shilling if we have no use for them at all?
They are definitely losing their relevance.
I mean,
Yes.
the one thing that I didn't really pick up on whenever the sweaters first came out, because I just looked at them and I was like, I know I'm not going to buy these because they're just not my style. So when I was looking at them, I didn't even really think about the price. The only thing I did sort of notice was like, I was like, well, they're all the same price and they all have the same stats. Therefore, I'm okay with this. But I did think, really, I don't like seeing items that are just for star coins. I like there is the shilling option, and I think it should be there.
Yeah, especially when it comes to gear and clothes, I feel. Like horses, I understand, are supposed to be just star coins, but gears and clothes, nah. No. So that is my least favorite update.
See, I feel like with the gears and clothes having only a star coin price is a little bit unfair, because obviously not everyone has the ability to spend real life money on star coins. They can't have that commitment. And also, it's not like you said, Rose, it's not like the horses, you choose to kind of have the new or like the different breeds. Having a certain breed doesn't give you an advantage, but having stats and clothing and stuff that does give a player advantage over other players that maybe don't have the same stats, but then only having it available for currency that you have to buy is a little bit unfair for those players who, you know, don't either have the money or can't sacrifice that money to pay, because again, you are, even though, you know, you're paying for clothing to make your character look better, but you're also paying for those stats to be able to go faster in championships and competitions. I do have to agree, they should at least have a Jorvik shilling price and the star coin price.
I do not like the concept of pay to win.
Exactly.
It is not a and especially not in Star Stable, because there is no reason.
No.
Yeah.
But yes, that was my least favorite, and my favorite was Story Quest.
What a surprise!
Exactly. Oh my god, really? But I think my part that I loved was the dialogue in general. Really good dialogue, and this is actually fun fact that I've heard from Star Stable is that the person that does the dialogue now in all the story quests is a comic book artist before. Yes, from the US. So he writes it down in English and then it is translated out. But for what they are a lot more prouder with their dialogue today than in the beginning of the game years ago. So I feel like the people that are just skipping all the dialogue, what are you doing?
I would never understand that.
No, you have to read.
I only skip dialogue whenever I've already done the quest. I'm doing it on the second.
Yes.
So I'll skip it on my Nightstar account if I know that it's a repeat.
Then it's just click.
Yes, but all new star requests and all that, you have to read, because there's so much fun information. There are jokes, there are fun facts, there are information for future stuff that might come in this dialogue, and you're missing out by just clicking and then stand there going like, whoa, what was I supposed to do?
Or if you get a fortune from Yidris, I'm very, very scared, because I've gone to him twice and both of them have been true.
Oh, wow. That is creepy.
And one of them was really bizarre as well, so when it came true, I was like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, okay.
Idris is following you, little dove.
He is.
That is creepy. Okay. So that was our favorite and least favorite update for January. And it has been a slow month. And I'm hoping that the next month is going to be more fun. We already know that we are getting more story quest next month, and also your week Warm Blood. And we're probably going to get Valentine's Day as well, since it's going to be Valentine's Day. But hopefully we'll have much more fun updates next month. Moving on to our monthly wish, which I have now also said is preferably something to do with events. So, Cece, what are your one monthly wish? One.
Yeah, it's really hard to just choose one.
One.
But I'm gonna say that I would like one function that you could reserve the riding hall for your riding, so you can only see your riding club members.
Kind of similar to the clubhouse.
Yes.
So as you enter, it's only your club members that you see.
Oh my god,
That would really make things... It would do a lot for the atmosphere. Because now you can take like some time. It's really frustrating when other people are there, when you're trying to concentrate and role play. Those people are running around, and of course they have every right to be there. And it's kind of like, okay, I must ignore every single person. So it would just be more convenient to have, like, if you have an event at the riding hall.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would think that would be really, really nice.
Yeah. I agree. That I like it.
Yeah. Good.
Yay! TC, one wish.
I'm gonna add on to what Cece said, but I want to expand it a little bit because
Ooh.
I like the idea of being able to go into the riding arena, for example, or the riding, the clubhouse. But because I've got two clubs in the same server, I wish that I could essentially have an invite button where I could invite another club, because sometimes I do joint events with other clubs outside of my own. So I feel like if you could have a situation where you can enter into the riding hall and you can invite, you'll bring your club with you and then you'll invite a second club or a third club if you want. Or just even the ability to like invite, if they had it where you could invite individual players, let's say it's a group of a couple of people just like having a wee event themselves and maybe they're not in a club, just being able to invite those specific people into there. I feel like that's what I would like, because I think it would be great. Because you have that area reserved for yourself, because I would find it difficult to use. I know that really, it'd be easier if maybe they expanded the size of clubs a little bit sometimes, but then I feel like it maybe get too big. But for me, that would kind of isolate my club, because it's two parts. So that's what I want.
Interesting. Cool. And mine is, I think I've already said this, but I'm gonna say it again. I want letters in the paddocks. Because I don't want to be stuck in the riding arena. I want to be able to use all the pretty paddocks we have around Jorvik and be outside and just have lovely riding lessons outside. But I need those letters because I'm so tired of riding. Go from the Wide Yards garden to the other side towards the entrance.
Go towards that tree.
Yeah, exactly. Or stand there and myself being the cone. Like, go from here to over there. Because I want all those letters. It feels like it is such an easy fix that it's annoying that it's not happening. So yes, letters in the paddocks need to happen. So that people also can use other paddocks for their riding lessons. Because I can imagine they're feeling stuck to using the riding arena as well.
I agree.
But yeah. So that needs to happen. Now, Quick is a guest and can have 2 wishes. What are your 2 wishes?
So, my first wish is something kind of more related to the subject of events. Yeah. So, first one, I did already point it out, is bigger groups. I would love to be able to invite more 5 people in a group.
Yeah.
Because it's so difficult, especially if you're holding an event and you're riding from one place to another place and you're kind of trying to keep track of everyone. Yeah. And all of a sudden people are like, oh, I lost sight of you. Where did you go? If you're not all in a group, you can't look on the map and be like, oh, okay, well, they went this direction to get to this certain area, so I need to catch up with them. So I would just love if we could have bigger groups. Like you
Yeah.
said, Rose, there's no reason that we can't.
Yeah.
When we do championships, like you have
There are
over there are more than 10 because
Yeah, there's 12.
you have the top 10 people on the scoreboard, and then you still have people underneath that. Like I think
Yeah.
I've been to champions before where there's been like maybe 14 people, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So it's not like it's not available to
Yeah.
have, because it's clearly happening and
Yeah.
it's clearly able to become a thing. So I still don't understand why it's so restricted. And also, oh wait, no, I can't say that one because that's technically 3 wishes. No!
You have Sophie's choice.
Okay.
Mhm.
The next one isn't going to be... Okay, I'm going to go with the one that I've already got written down. The other one. But the next one is how we have the ability to mute friend invites. I want the ability to make the mail pop-up go away without checking your mail.
Oh,
Because-
really?
Yes, because when I'm doing streams, people love to mail me during the
Oh.
stream knowing that I won't check it because I don't want to open a piece of mail, and in case it's somebody saying like something private that they don't want up on a stream, and people know that the mail circling in the bottom corner distracts me so badly. So they'll get emails and they'll get mail and mail and mail of people going, lol, hee hee, check this. So I would love to just make that disappear. It wouldn't get rid of your mail that you're being sent.
No. Yes.
But as soon as you kind of switch that toggle off, then it pops up showing that you have mail. Just because it's so distracting, especially with the golden little circle that wraps around, and it's a bright red flag that's just saying, hey, read me. Like, I can't right now, go away.
No.
So I would love to just be able to either switch that off or be able to physically kind of switch the notification part off. Like, also another thing is, like, with the mail thing in general is why we can't kind of access it from our quote-unquote mobile as our settings, because obviously we have that ability in real life. Well, no, I mean as in, like, not as in our actual phone, but, like, do you know, in-game our settings.
Oh, like it is a
through the
text
mobile.
message.
Yeah. So it'd be fun to have it that way as well, so then you don't always have to go to like, oh, I need to go back to the village to go find a mailbox that I don't remember where it is. So just a few adjustments with the mail thing as well would be very much appreciated. Please, team.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Good wishes. I have to say. When I was thinking back on the thing about the championship and old stuff, what I have been told is that going back in the coding to look at old stuff, those people that did that are not, most of them aren't in the office anymore. They have moved on.
Come back.
Yeah, well, so all the new people going back have to figure out what they did.
Oh.
And that takes a lot of time, and sometimes they never figure it out.
Did they not annotate their code properly?
Yeah,
apparently
come back
not.
and fix your mistakes.
That was like drilled into me. You have to annotate every line of code, so that
Yes.
if anybody goes back and reads it, they know exactly what you did and why.
They probably do it now, but the people from that back then did not. So I can imagine that it says championship is pretty old.
Yeah.
Maybe that is something they probably never checked because it works, or maybe they feel like, oh my god, we have no idea how this works.
Where did this go?
Yeah, where does this go? Where to find a needle in the haystack? But yeah, just so you know, for what I know, what I have been told. But yeah, that is it, people. We are close to the finish line of this episode.
Oh my gosh.
Are we gonna cry? No, we're not.
Only if
gonna
we don't get rid of that mail pop-up. That's not
cry. Okay.
Please. It's so painful.
Oh no, poor you, poor you. But yes, I guess we're done. Unless we have anything else we want to say.
Not that I can think of.
No. Okay. thank you, Quick, for joining us.
No problem.
It has been tons of fun. And of
Yes.
course, you'll have to join us in the future again.
Yes, definitely. I would
Yes,
love
yes.
to.
Awesome. And thank you all who are listening. I hope you got a lot of tips and feel
Energized and excited to hold events now. And of course, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And don't forget to check out all the links that we have down in the description as well, because you might find more information, or unless you're not following us on any social media where we are, you should. Yes, just saying. You should. But yes, thank you all for listening. We're ending this. So stay awesome as always, and we'll see you next time in February. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.